messages and DMs and stuff.
A lot of S's in that word for you, right?
Yeah, it was.
What'd they say? In text? Who erases text messaging?
Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
bold.
just DMs, just DMs.
Yeah, come
Oh,
on.
with
Text
the-
message is
with
crazy.
the victim
I mean-
ideology.
Right?
Nah, but my group chat of all black guys, they gotta hit me with traces.
So they happy, bro. They're happy.
Oh, they are.
Come on.
My friend Tobago.
I shouldn't have gone to you first. I knew you were gonna bring down the mood.
Okay. Mark, what's your
yeah,
mom
tell
say?
me what the family celebration was like. What was the group chat doing?
Group chat's divided. Group chat's divided.
Why?
And some people are like, hell yeah, Trump's president, let's fucking go. The other half is like, the corporations have taken over and Satan is now in charge. Because ultimately, all politicians serve Satan. Okay? So there's no political discourse
Yo,
without
Mark's
Satan.
mom is the shit. We gotta have. We should have had her on
Yeah,
today.
fabulous.
That would have been the best.
Yeah,
And just
fabulous.
watch her just laser beam Dove for 2 hours on the podcast, staring straight into his soul.
Yeah.
You guys knew who was gonna win.
Dub would convert. Dub would absolutely convert.
Okay, what are you feeling, Akash?
Who's gonna?
You know,
Who's
I
the
kinda
guaranteed
smugly
winner
satisfied,
on
like, this is what
Sunday,
y'all
though?
get. Y'all
That's
didn't
all
all come
I
on
know.
flagrant. You know what they told us? It was too big of a risk. It was too big of a risk for Kamala to come
Yeah.
on.
I'm
Okay.
not gonna pick a
You
division
fucking
game.
loser. You know what I mean? Like, you know, it's a kind of a risk in not doing any big
It's
budget.
like the
Bro, you
Saints.
know what?
The
We
Saints
told
like
the
screwed
little
over
Chinese
3
man
people
once.
in the Survivor
He
League
was
last
running
month,
for,
last week.
Running for mayor of New York City.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because they picked
They
the,
say, yo, if you wanna,
they picked
if you
Saints
wanna
against
be mayor, you gotta come on flagrant.
Panthers.
The
and Panthers
only
won.
way that you could be mayor of New York City is if you come on flagrant.
Yep.
Said it was too big of a risk.
Philly, that's Philly. I already
So
picked
here's your
Phillies. I
name.
can't pick
For 5 years.
Selling insurance in Wisconsin.
Nah, yeah, he has a nice podcast.
Does he?
That records at a WTF media studio.
Oh my
in
God!
Midtown
But
Manhattan.
with all due respect,
I don't know,
he's
that
great.
dude-
He's absolutely amazing. Are you sure it's him? Or
Yeah, I was
is
thinking
he
about
fucking Elm
Giants.
Street Tunnel?
I was thinking about that.
I just want to make sure you're not being
No,
racist
I
right
didn't
now.
podcast. I'm paying rent. You delivered my sushi.
It is weird. It's weird that he collects rent from me at the end of the month. That is a peculiar arrangement. Now,
The Giants won.
just a wild time. It's just a wild
yeah.
time. Okay.
Oh, yeah,
Let's
so it's
get,
not even a
let's
home
get into
game.
a lot of different conversations.
Well, how are things in your
Oh, yeah.
household? How are
Oh, I didn't tell y'all, or maybe I did tell y'all. I tried to pull Larry David yesterday. Cause you know me, the idea of like going to vote, it just seems like such
I
an
ain't doing that
effort.
shit.
Oh my God! Then my address was in a different place, and I was like, I'm not going all the way up to that polling thing. So my wife, 5 blocks away.
Yeah.
No, it was on 58th.
Oh, why?
Good.
Because
Maybe the Giants
business
will be
manager
good.
put the address,
Yeah.
like a whole thing, whatever. Anyway, so I asked my wife, I'm like, yo, who you voting for? She goes, I'm voting for
I like the
Kamala.
Bears,
You know, like,
though,
my daughter,
too.
And I'm worried about her reproductive rights.
Just go.
It's
And
the
I was like,
Patriots.
that's a good ass point.
Yes,
That's a
go.
good ass point.
Play the Patriots.
And then I also
I
kind
think-
hold on.
Women
Then
smart
hold on.
yes.
I
That's
also
what I was looking-
calculated. I was like, probably got another couple elections before
Yeah, I was
the
leaning
reproductive rights are
toward the
gonna kick
Bears.
in. I think we can fix that shit up. I think
Yeah, I
we
was
got
leaning
2 or
the
3 more
Bears.
before we're gonna need one of them.
2 or 3. Come on.
Wait, right?
Yeah, about 5 or
Yeah,
6,
I picked
hopefully.
the Bills.
Nah, you
The
right.
Broncos, yeah, the Broncos.
8 to 12.
Yeah, I don't want to pick the Chiefs just because it's a division
Yeah,
game.
right, 'cause how many years did I think Trump was gonna be there?
Yeah,
Forever.
pick the
You heard that, Shifty? MAGA.
Oh, yeah,
It's like
right.
week
It's
10.
all
Shifty, MAGA.
Yeah, we never have to vote again. How convenient
Yeah,
is that?
no
nice,
more
dude.
elections, bro.
Anyway,
That is nice.
so I asked my wife, I'm like, yo, who you voting for? She goes, Kamala. And I'm like, all right,
What
look,
game is that?
I want to do a Larry David with you. So
Oh, yeah, I
I'm
already
going to
picked
vote
Commanders.
Trump, you're going to vote Kamala. If neither of us vote, then we
Nah.
did vote.
Yeah.
Right? Because they cancel each other out. This
Yeah.
is a Larry
I
David
picked
Curry
against
Tuesday
Commanders.
episode.
I fucking
She goes,
did.
all right, that kind of makes sense.
It's
Then hits
crazy.
me up midway through the day. I went and
Yeah,
voted.
like,
I
yes.
said, this motherfucker. I said, this motherfucker
Yeah.
trying to get one over on me.
Really sure.
I rolled right to the closest precinct. I said, yo, can I vote here even though I'm not signed up? And they were like, yeah, this is America. You don't even need an ID. You don't even need to speak English. You can walk in here with a Venezuelan flag
Yeah, I
and a
think
gun
I
and you can
probably
vote.
do.
So I walked in there and they were like, you could sign an affidavit or some other bullshit. And I just voted.
Hell yeah.
Evened it out.
They take them shits
Yeah.
thrown right out.
That's so
extra
good.
work.
All right, so let's get into this discussion real quick. What do you think the real decision was that was made by the American public? You think it was in my estimation, this is what I think it was a referendum on
Let's get the ball switch and run.
liberal
run it.
politics and
That's
leftist
all
politics.
you
I
need
don't
to
think
do.
it was Trump populism. I think a lot of people going, Trump is this amazing populist and he was just so engaging and everybody just fucking loved him. No, I actually think in the same way that people
In
voted
Chicago?
anti-Trump, let's say in 2020, I think people were voting
No, they're not.
anti-democratic.
But the Bears are?
In 2024. And I think that's evident across the board. I mean, you saw your DA in California getting The Republicans flip the Senate. The voter turnout is much higher.
Yeah,
They
man.
win
I
every
think
swing.
Albanese,
They win
like, all
every
the
swing
time.
state.
I don't know if she got a single one, dude.
So, like, to me, it's a rejection of the current state of liberal politics and the fact
Yeah, I think
that
they have
those
better
people
defense. I mean, I don't know.
felt concerns that were
it's
not
getting hard to
met
pick.
by Democrats on the campaign trail. They had no real answer for the border. They just gaslit people about the border. They had no real answer for the economy. They had no real answer for
shit.
anything.
Nope.
So, I think it was one, a
Windy
rejection of
City.
liberal politics, and then two, just like a truly like once in a lifetime awful candidate. I don't think that you can. I don't think that you can.
You whack, bro.
Discredit or
not
discount.
discredit, but discount. I don't think you can discount that.
Yeah.
Like,
Motherfucker
he's a star.
He's making shit up.
Like when I saw Obama on the camp pants, I was like, holy shit, this guy's fucking superstar. And then you see her like flopping around like a fish on, you know, on a boat, you know, and it's like
He's making shit up for no
you know,
reason.
So I think it was a rejection of leftist policies and leftist politics, along with just a truly horrible candidate.
The other part of the politics I think that people were fed up with was just the games Democrats play in the guise of democracy and like we're the ones who care about the people. Nobody elected Kamala, just like nobody
Oh,
elected her
yeah.
in 2016.
That's for the whole
You just-
day,
You're
though.
so eager to have a woman president or whatever it is, to whatever your reasoning is. This is the corporate person.
Yeah, you
Fuck
gotta go in
actual
it hour by
democracy in
hour.
action during the primaries. Let's put in the candidate we want, and then I think it's one of the worst campaigns. I think she could be a good candidate, but
So-
maybe the worst campaign I've ever seen in my
Is
life.
legacy media done?
Legacy media is done.
So I have theories on this. I think because you got to look at it two ways. Is legacy media
Yeah, I
done,
seen him to win.
or was
Yeah,
Kamala
it's
so
okay.
bad that even with the influence of legacy media, they couldn't get it over the hump? For example, if
Yeah, I would
Michelle
bet
was
it's
running
due to the
or-
Chiefs,
or
but I don't
Barack
like
was running
those division
with
games are
legacy
always
media in its
weird.
current state, I think they
It's like
might
last
be able to still
night,
get it over.
Ravens almost
it's
lost.
amazing.
Yeah.
But so I don't think
Or
legacy
they
media is
got a
completely
chance
done.
to lose.
But I do think that there is something very interesting that happened here. Legacy media still gets the eyeballs. It
And
still
they were
gets
like
the
8-point
views,
favorites or
and
something
it still has
going into
cultural
it.
influence. Up until election night, we all thought that it was a close race.
Yeah.
That's legacy media.
On
That is
Sunday, they
constantly
played
pushing
the
narratives
Broncos.
that not only is it close, she might be ahead. Iowa's going to her.
Yeah.
She's going to flip all the states. It's going to be an absolute mauling, right? That is
Which,
legacy
I mean,
media pushing a narrative.
Yeah, I mean, I
and
think they'll
people
probably
believing
win,
said
but I
narrative,
just would
right?
rather
So,
not bet
I mean, if you look at all
division
the
game.
pollsters, they had her winning day of.
Yeah.
Like outside of like Polymarket, which I don't even know if you can credit because it's just dudes gambling. It's like there's no actual women
That's
represented
what I was
on
also
the
I was
fucking
like,
thing.
women are gambling.
Yeah.
So I don't.
So I look at this. I look at legacy media, and I'm like, okay. Now here's the difference.
Yes,
And I'm not just saying this because we're podcasters, but Trump went on podcasts,
Oh, I got this.
did these
shit.
long interviews. Kamala did some podcasts too. But most of them were short, very contrived interviews. It was very controlled. It was things edited out. It was, it wasn't exactly the free form speech that we're kind of used to. Also specifically targeted
Alright.
to one demographic. Like you could tell in the last month that the campaign was like, we want black people to come out and vote, and we really aren't trying to reach out to anybody else.
Yeah.
And, which is a huge, I think, problem for them because they just got lower all-around turnout.
Yeah.
And maybe if they spoke to more people, then
Yeah.
more people could have been inspired. But here's the thing that happens. One thing that podcasting has done that's been really effective is build community and connection, right? Like, if you look at the biggest touring stand-up comedians in the world, right? They all have podcasts where they've built this amazing community and connection, and like we talk to people every single week. They know intimate details about our life. To me, what that's proven is that just because people are famous doesn't mean you go out,
Yeah.
right? Connection is actually what makes people go out. There are comics on SNL that I don't know if they could sell out a weekend of shows at a comedy club. You know, they're on the biggest comedy platform in the world. And then there are comics who have podcasts that can sell out arenas.
Yeah.
To me, the difference between new media and legacy media is connection.
Okay.
The purpose of this podcast is to get people to invest in our lives and then be along for that journey, be it we go do stand-up shows, we go do some sort of live tour, some live activation, just be part of our lives. The purpose of legacy media is to sell depression pills. That is the purpose of the show.
Yeah.
They're creating the show so that they can sell those depression pills.
Yeah.
That's not to say we don't have ads. Of course we have ads. We didn't originally. For months, a year when we started this. The purpose purpose of this was to build a community and a connection. And I think that fatal flaw of her not going onto these podcasts is that people weren't able to make that connection. And just as people come out to shows because they build that connection with us here, they came out to vote because he built that connection.
Yeah.
People leave the house. When they didn't have to leave the house to vote, they voted for Biden. They mailed it in. When they had to leave the house to go to a stand-up show or leave the house to vote, you better fucking... We talk about this all the time. It's an investment. Putting on fucking clothes, standing in line for a couple hours.
And we only mailed it in because we were locked inside for 6 months. We had nothing else to do.
For sure.
I'm not mailing in if I can go outside and do shit.
Sure,
So
sure.
we could have mailed in this time, but we're not. I think when I say legacy media is done, I mean they can still set a narrative. People still watch it. Their influence.
Sweet,
is-
thank you.
Them being the most influential force in the world is done.
Can't afford
I don't know if-
Patry.
I wouldn't say done. I would just say that, like, they don't have the connectivity.
Sure.
And
Yeah.
the
Who'd
great
say
disruption
Patry and
with
DeJong?
media
I'll have to look
is
at
the
'em.
connectivity.
Yeah.
And before, and the reason why I create the analogy with comics is like before there were comics that could sell out shows by being in a commercial. Like they were in a commercial for Pepsi and they could sell out a weekend of shows just because there were so few famous people. Now everybody is gone viral.
Yeah.
What type of connection do you have with your audience?
I think legacy media just hits a different crop of voters. It's
Okay.
like with the advent of like TikTok, is Facebook done?
The
It's
fuck?
like,
How's he
well,
have 3
I
of
think
them?
Facebook just kind of hits like a different group of people in a different age bracket and a different geography. And I think legacy media effectively does the same thing.
now
I
he
think
got
younger
3.
people are probably seeking connection more so, and that community specifically digitally is probably more valuable to younger people. Whereas like, I don't know, our parents are not listening to podcasts, but they'll probably tune in to CNN or
Yeah.
Fox or
Yeah.
whatever, and they'll watch that and then get their information based off that.
Yeah.
So I think mobilizing young people podcasts is the way to go.
Yeah.
And then as far as getting older people, I think you have to. I think you now are in a position where it's not pick one or the other, but you have to play both.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And she chose not to play one.
Unbelievable.
Or she played it in a specific way that I think hurt her negatively.
It's so dumb.
Yeah.
Like Call Her Daddy, I don't think you can discount. Breakfast Club, I don't think you can discount. But I think in order to get all of them, you need to do all of them.
Like they only did outside of Call Her Daddy. I feel like they only did black podcasts. And to me, if I'm an American voter, I'm almost like insulted by it. I'm like, hey, we're here too. Like I know we don't live in fucking Wisconsin or Pennsylvania, but we also care about what you're gonna do for us.
Oh my
And if
God,
you're
come
just
on.
talking about these things the month before the election, we might feel like you don't give a fuck about what's going on for us.
The way I'm wired, if I'm a black voter, I'm sorry to interrupt. If I'm a black voter, I start to feel a little insulted.
You feel pandered to?
Yeah, like what do you do? All you ever do is you're gonna go have a fucking town hall. You're gonna go do all the smoke, and those are great platforms, but like that's all you're gonna do is just sit here and talk to me. Like this is the liberal thing where it's like, yo, you're not equal.
Yeah.
You're a little less than us, so let's just pander to you like you're a fucking moron, and you'll buy into it because you're so fucking stupid and helpless as a minority.
Yeah.
Fuck you, suck my dick. Talk to America, and I'll listen, and I'll choose who I want.
Right.
Sorry, what were you gonna say?
I think part of the reason Obama got elected was because he got a lot of the black people, the black vote out to actually vote. A large percentage of the black community do not go out and vote. So I think that was part of the strategy of targeting a particular group to try to get them.
Oh my God,
happy
what
and
the
energized
fuck?
to get out to actually
Yeah.
vote like Obama did. I think.
Why does it
using
have so much power?
podcast was a great strategy on both sides. This was the first election run that they ever did that.
Yeah.
So it was like it was hit or miss.
That's so
Which is,
weird.
let's say Trump loses, people would have been like, he wasted all that time going on podcasts instead of just going out and
I don't think
doing
that. I don't
just
think
talking to
No,
people.
no. I think
People
there's-
could have
yeah.
said that.
What
This
do you
was a
think
gamble.
if Trump lost?
Yeah, no,
if you
I'll
will.
get to that. We'll go.
And so it's like Obama's amazing strategy was utilizing social media during his
Damn.
run, and that was never seen before. So I think it was just the fact
I
that
like the
they
time
tried new
finishing.
things, and some worked, some didn't. And clearly Trump connected with people better
And the
than
hitters.
So if I can respond to that, sorry. I think this, if you watch sports, this is what always happens. If a team goes for it on fourth down and they make it, coach is a genius. If they don't, he's an idiot. It always, hindsight influences everything. I think even if Trump lost, personally, I would have been like, no, he lost because of January 6th. He lost because of X, Y, Z.
Jesus,
All these
dude.
other things that happen outside the podcast world. If you just look at raw numbers of Joe Rogan and say, 60 million views on YouTube alone for a guy who's still bigger on audio, just hitting that raw number of people, if you're like, no, you know what's going to win me the election? Let's go do a black podcast that gets 1/100th of that list.
Charlemagne said to me, the number one podcast with black listenership and viewership in the world is Joe Rogan. So you chose not to go on the biggest podcast for black people in the world. Like that is a huge choice.
Yeah.
And while doing that, you could have also hit all all these other people as well. To me, the
Oh
strategy
my
is
God.
they weren't
Oh,
ready for the
fuck that
pushback,
up.
and they wanted to go on platforms
That
that
was
were going
dumb.
to be more comfortable, you know, with their control in their hand. Live tour, last few dates. Reno, we had a second show. San Jose, Portland, you guys
So
all sold out.
stupid.
Thank you so much. New York City, I love y'all, man. All 4 shows sold out, and then Honolulu, that is the final day. Go grab those tickets, Honolulu. Some seats left for that. Those are the last shows of the live tour. We love y'all. We appreciate y'all. We'll see you out there. TheAndrewSchultz.com. Peace.
Also, guys, shows real quick. First of all, London, I'm coming through next week. Maybe we do a little pop-up, maybe we don't. I don't know. I'm going to be giving a speech at Oxford. Who would have fucking thought? Anyway, November 22nd and 23rd, I'm going to be in Rochester.
I'm
at the
playing
Carlson.
bad.
December 4th, I told you guys these tickets were going to sell out. We're almost sold out for my shows at Governors in Levittown. I am a hero on Long Island now. Before, they didn't like me. Now they love me. I wonder why. Maybe because I got their president elected. Anyway, December 6th and 7th, I'm going to be in Albany, New York. I think those are my last dates for the year, but get those tickets. And we're going to start announcing 2025 dates soon. AkashSingh.com. Let's get back to the show.
Pottstown, PA, this Friday, November 8th. I'm going to be at Soul Joel's.
Do
and
it
then
again without looking at your phone.
I just had to double check.
November 8th.
November 8th.
It's November 8th. Here, let me just do
But
it.
then Stanford,
I'm
Connecticut.
playing like shit.
Do it again. Do it again. Let's do it again.
Pottstown, PA, this Friday, November 8th. I'm going to be at Soul Joel's. This Wednesday, Stanford, Connecticut. I'm going to be at New York Comedy Club. I can't wait to see you guys there.
Is that it? Is that all we got?
World's fastest ad read.
You didn't say New York's Comedy Club.
This could be your head right there, ladies.
You didn't say
You know what I mean?
Connecticut.
I want to make it fast. That way people
No,
go.
but they're gonna think that it's New
This,
York Comedy
ladies,
Club.
right here.
No,
your
Stanford,
face.
Connecticut, New York
Your
Comedy Club.
face.
One more time.
Right here.
I just-
Or guys.
If it's too long, people are going to skip. Hypothetical, let's say Kamala does go on Rogan, goes on Lex, goes on Theo. Does she win? I don't think so. I think fundamentally the strategy of her campaign was flawed from the get-go, and I think Biden largely like kiboshed her odds by just pulling out so late.
Yes.
That like even if she had done these things, I think it absolutely would have helped, but I don't think it would have won her the election.
Yeah, I think it would have won her the election if she was good.
Well, yeah,
And the reality is, it's like, we'll never know if she was good because we were never given her.
right.
And the most real you've ever seen her is when she and Charlamagne were sitting.
Oh
I was
my
like,
God.
Charlamagne, don't have any callers call in. Don't. I said it on Brilliant Idiots. I was like, you just need to talk to this woman for 3 fucking hours. That is the closest that we've seen her to being a real person and not just a politician. Talk to her. That is the way that America can get to know her. America doesn't know her. They've seen her flip-flop on every single issue, which is okay. I'm okay if politicians change their mind. I'm totally okay with that. But give me an explanation as to why. They've seen her gaslight about the border, haven't answered a single fucking question about the border correctly or with any amount of confidence that made the American people believe that they were going to do something different. Like, there are real issues that they didn't touch on, and I feel like Charlamagne could be, I'm biased, but I think he could have been the guy to actually push her to answer those questions.
But like Mark said, I think Biden
7 legs.
fucked her up.
Right
Like,
on.
she didn't have enough
She
time
don't
to
win a
prepare.
primary. I don't think if Biden doesn't run again and they have a primary, she don't win the primary.
Bro, we just gotta call it
Do
what
you,
it
do you
is.
think
It
it would have
sucks.
been
Like,
different? Do you think it would have been different?
I don't
if she
think
had
she's
more
good.
time.
Yeah, I don't think he might not even.
No, I
He might.
truly
Yeah, he
don't.
might not
I
even play.
truly don't.
Here's the
Because the
reality.
things you're complaining about is like, oh hey, we didn't hear enough from her.
No,
But,
no, no,
Hey,
that-
if you had more time to
The
hear
horse
enough
ain't
from her.
fast. That's all it is. It's like the
Also-
horse ain't fast. Like
Okay.
she's not a Ferrari, bro.
No,
She-
I'm not
Also-
disagreeing with that.
What I'm real quick.
I'm-
So it's like, so far what we saw, she had plenty of opportunities to win us over. It's not like she didn't have every single podcast that she did. It's like she didn't go on one podcast.
Yeah,
and
cut-
people
yeah,
say,
fucking
"Yeah,
come
this-
off
this
injured."
shit is kind of fire." No matter what she went on, people were like, "This shit sucks." Right? The only thing that she did that was pretty good was the Brett Byer thing on Fox.
All right.
I think the call of that.
I like to call it that, to be honest.
Good as
I
well.
thought
Might as well add like
I'm
lightning,
not
lightning
like
to strike or something.
forward or whatever, but there were moments where I was like, that was really thoughtful. And it was a unique way of answering that question that didn't sound like a robot was answering it.
Yeah.
And that was maybe I was looking for very little. I saw that. To your point, I was saying at the same time, you had ample opportunity to do Joe Rogan and said, oh, you need to come to me and I only give you an hour. And then these fucking liberal idiots were like, why won't Joe do that? Joe is
Yeah.
Oprah this day and age. If George W. Bush is running in 2000 and says, I want to be president, Oprah, but I'm not coming to Chicago,
It was a
you
cop-out.
come to Texas and I give you 20 minutes.
It was a
Oprah
cop-out.
says, suck my
Dun, dun,
dick,
dun,
motherfucker,
dun,
I'm not
dun,
doing
dun,
that.
dun.
And we all got it. Joe
Oh,
got it.
yeah.
You want to be president, don't talk about 90 days. You needed a day, 3 hours, go do Rogan. You were campaigning right next door, go do
It's fine.
Rogan.
It's fine. It's fine.
I hear what you're saying, bro. But
It's fine.
it's still something
We just
new.
can't cop please.
Well,
for,
that's
like,
what people are gonna do because
Yeah.
they don't want to acknowledge like what just happened. They don't want to acknowledge the reality. There's gonna be some people that I think will move on from this and be like, hey, the Democratic Party did not address the needs of the people. That's why the people overwhelmingly rejected them. And hopefully the people that are thinking that are the people in control of the Democratic Party, because I don't think anything would make us happier. Think about this right now. Like, everybody's looking at Trump, right? As if he's like this big bad Republican. Who is surrounding Trump right now? Tell me his team.
Elon, RFK,
Democrat. RFK is a lifelong.
Democrat.
Who else?
Tulsi.
Democrat. Who else?
Great.
Vivek. Democrat. Who else?
I don't know if Vivek was a Democrat.
I
but
thought he
great
was
one.
a
Not that I know of.
lifelong Democrat.
Not that I know of.
Okay.
I need to
But either way,
My
your
point
point
is,
stands.
my point,
It's a great
and,
point.
and who has got Kamala's back?
Got
Liz
snacks.
Cheney.
Cheney.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
It's like, get the fuck out of here. My point is, you have.
Yeah,
you have-
Obama, Michelle.
I mean, Obama and Michelle is a different thing. They are the institution of the Democratic Party.
Vivek did vote for Obama. He admitted. And
Yeah.
He was a libertarian, but
The point that I'm trying to make is that like she is the representative of the institution, and the institution wasn't meeting the demands of the people. The Democrats haven't won an election in the last 20 years that wasn't Obama or Obama's VP. Think about that. Like, we're really just voting for Obama, and she was too derivative. That's how much we love Obama. We're like, if you're close enough to Obama, we'll vote for you. Hillary, you weren't close enough. Matter of fact, I think you went after him a little bit.
Yeah.
So we remember that shit. So I just don't think Democrats met the people, and the reality is, those people that are surrounding Trump
my
right now
God.
are these homeless Democrats, these lifelong Democrats, like many of us, lifelong Democrats that feel like the party has left us.
Yeah.
Those are the people. I mean, look at it. It's like a perfect metaphor for what's happening right now in America. Those people right there going, all right, I'm going to ride with this guy because he at least sees what's happening and he sees that the left has gone too far. And you know what? They went there and they were called pawns, they were called assholes,
fuck.
they're called every name under the book. And the rest of America, the majority went, nah, we feel that way too.
Yeah. The Dick Cheney and Liz
my
Cheney
God.
endorsement, like the fact that she touted it was such a strategic error.
Nuclear bomb.
But
Yeah.
I don't understand
I
why.
didn't get that one.
The name Cheney,
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know if there's a worse name in politics.
I saw an interesting tweet. When he left as VP, he had like a 16% approval rating,
Yeah.
which is the same as Nixon. And this would be the equivalent of like Clinton running, being like, "Oh, I got Nixon's endorsement, guys. You should vote for me."
Yeah,
It's like,
yeah,
why-
yeah,
like
yeah,
it's
yeah.
crazy.
And then Dave Smith posted a clip, and this is just again legacy media and like us not believing it.
Yeah.
A clip of Whoopi saying to Liz Cheney on The View, "You should be Attorney General. I just think you're awesome." And we're like, what the fuck is?
And
People
what's
are
happening?
seeing like
Saints.
this is insane, right? Watching legacy media say Liz Cheney should, hey, let's put another Cheney in a high position because we trust him.
Yeah.
Like,
So-
yeah.
So let's look back at this. This is a kind of interesting thing. Obviously, we witnessed something pretty profound that's happened. Whether you like it or not, I hope we're all in this position right now where we want it to work out.
Yeah.
You know, there's a great moment when Chappelle was doing SNL.
Yeah.
I think after Trump won the first time.
Yes.
And he was like, "I'm rooting for you, and I hope it works out." And it was this beautiful moment.
Yeah. I hope you give us the same chance I'm giving you.
Yeah.
Awesome.
And it was beautiful. It was like it was so mature.
Yeah.
It's so easy to be like angry and come up with excuses and all that. None of that's gonna stop what's going on.
Yeah.
Right now, we gotta hope that the best
Oh
years of
my
America are in
God.
front of us.
Yeah.
And I hope that this is the golden age, once again, of America. Like, I don't think anything would make Americans happier if this wasn't the next
What does
golden
that
age
mean?
that we walk right into. Right now, coming up into this election, I think we can all agree that we're at an all-time
I'm not
low
paying attention to this
confidence in
game.
the institutions in America, right? We didn't
In our
trust shit.
lifetime, for sure.
Like,
I think that's why she lost.
and
I think the biggest reason why she lost is she
Should be
didn't do
winning.
a good enough job of showing that she will be changed.
yeah,
This
yeah,
guy
I think you're
sucks.
right.
That's the biggest.
Actually said
People
I
aren't happy, and she's more on this.
Yeah.
Elaborate.
Old
They
head.
wanted to change president.
Yeah.
And
What's
they
old
said,
head
"Would
mean?"
you have done anything different than Biden?" She goes, "No."
No.
That's the
So
biggest.
what are we
reason.
doing?
I think
That
you're right.
lost her.
And I think the
Look at this shit,
economic
man. Get outta
element
here.
of that, I don't think can be understated.
Which is the change that you want to experience is an economic one,
Yeah.
and she's basically saying, I don't think he did anything wrong.
Yeah.
You're sitting at home going, well, I
What-
can't afford food
I
anymore.
think more
mad
than the
at. Oh my
social
God.
issues, personally. Like, maybe
Ridiculous.
those things factor in, but I do think the idea of people being like, fuck, bread is this expensive, fucking, I gotta buy eggs
Whatever
and
you're
gas.
whether it's migrants, whether it's reproductive rights, like anything bad that happened in the last 4, if you don't distance yourself away from that, what that person is mad about, you're the reason for it.
Yeah.
And I saw
That's-
interesting
that's what
analysis
most
of
of the-
like Obama's election ads, like the ones that he paid for, and Kamala's, and they did an analysis between them, and the majority of his were economic. It's like, hey, we're gonna fix this. He's coming out of the recession, and then even with his second term, the economy's not fixed perfectly. But he's like, look, we need to change this. They showed Gretchen Whitmer when she was running. That she was like, look, inflation is crazy, da 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 da. And then while Kamala was running,
my
like, there's all these
subs.
pieces
This
done
is
by these Democratic
ridiculous,
political
dude.
writers being like, guys, the economy's actually great, and they're like gaslighting the general public
Should've
and
won
being
this
like, guys,
game.
whatever you're feeling is actually not true. And whether or not things actually are on the
This
numbers,
guy's
people
terrible.
feel like it's not.
You have to address their feelings.
And they neglect the feeling, and as a result, it doesn't matter what it actually is, it's how people feel. And people in the middle of the country that feel like, oh, this shit is not going well, inflation's going crazy. The fact that she neglected that and then was going hard, and they even did like political polling
Bro,
in like
what the
Pennsylvania, being
fuck?
like, going at Democrats, being like, okay, which one of these campaign slogans resonates the most with you? It was economic policy was resonating the most, and then Trump being a threat to democracy was resonating the least. And then
That's
looking
terrible.
at Kamala's campaign things, it was like 30% was Trump is a threat to democracy, 30% is like abortion and social issues, and then like a tiny little fraction, like 5 to 10% was economic. And so she didn't
Bullshit.
distance herself from the current economic system, and then kind of went too wide with all these other issues. Whereas Trump is just like, hey, we'll fix the economy. I'm a business guy. Da 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 da. I think Trump is generally beatable from a lot of other Democratic candidates. I think they could have run people. I don't think he's like an
Yeah.
underdog guy. I mean, Biden beat him.
I
And
think Pete would have killed him.
Either one.
and so, with that being said, it's like they just ran a bad person too late with a bad strategy.
Yeah, I don't know who beats him, honestly. I think Pete is incredibly astute and charming and eloquent. There is a pathway to him becoming president, and he just has to say
What did he say?
if he's the
Patry?
top. I know it sounds crazy, but
Said
I
that in
know
the
it
group
sounds
chat,
crazy.
bro.
But if
Al
Pete,
said this before.
did he say
It's
it
not
on the
gay
pod?
if you're a top.
Oh no.
He might have said on Patreon. It's not gay if you're the top.
Well, I think America would be like, yeah, all right, whatever.
Yeah.
I genuinely, but the idea that like he's getting bent over with his back arched and his boyfriend is like having his fingers in his mouth and pulling him like that.
dude,
why
what
do
the
you
fuck?
think about
Why do
this
you
so
bring that
big?
up?
Yeah, that's what you guys are going to be thinking about in the booth.
What the
When you're
hell?
filling
I
out
don't
your
vote, first of all.
affidavits,
It's not
that's
even-
what's going to be.
And you kind of lean over to vote too. Like you're kind of bent over a little. Like you're kind
He's
of
just
like,
over your shoulder.
Yeah, like ugh.
So if he's a top, I think he could definitely win. And it sucks, isn't that a shame?
But he could be a top. There's a 50%
Yeah,
chance, really.
And honestly, I don't know if Trump could beat a man.
Yeah, that's true.
So far, he's only beaten women.
Yeah, but
Yeah,
he
that's true.
beats the fuck out of women.
Yo, he destroys women.
fucks women up.
dude. Yo, no woman ever won against fucking Trump, man.
Yo, I was thinking this because people were saying like it's just sad that people don't care about women's rights and blah blah blah. I think when you go into the voting booth, if you got kids and you are hurting financially, it's like, hey man, all that shit sucks, but this is kill. I need to feed my kids,
Yeah.
and that's all that's gonna matter. I do still think so much of this could have been fixed campaign wise. Like
Mhm.
instead of saying, hey, I wouldn't have distanced anything from Biden. You know what? We definitely didn't do anything perfect. You want to sell him out? Great. Well, you know, Biden and I did everything together. We're a team.
Sell
And
his
we-
ass out.
We
Sell
made
his
some
ass
mistakes.
out.
and
Sell his
we
ass
learned
out.
from it.
Yeah.
He wouldn't even know you were selling him out.
Yeah.
This is
Yeah.
so funny that we
Biden
talk-
called me the N-word. That's what I
Oh,
was
this
saying.
guy?
Day one.
Sell
I'd be like,
his
this guy's a
ass out,
racist
bro.
motherfucker.
My
Get
vote.
him out of here.
It's about the win.
I vote for Biden again.
Yeah, I thought we voted for Biden. No, let him run again.
No.
Let him walk up the stairs.
I don't think we talk about this strategy as if there's not like this one person.
Oh, yeah,
doing it.
she's
There's
good.
Hundreds of billions of dollars behind each of these decisions. So for y'all to fuck up this hard is insane to me. For
Yeah.
you to not understand the reach of podcasts,
Yeah.
you're not just Kamala Harris.
They understood it. They didn't want the risk. That's what I think it is. And they didn't want her to be
High
exposed.
risk, high reward, bro.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's.
But
that's
Trump's
why you
not
do it.
worried. But Trump's not worried about it. But you know what I mean? Like he's like, I can handle this. I'm used to people saying the worst possible thing about me for the last fucking 8 years. It doesn't even matter. So whereas Kamala, they have to protect her a little bit. You know, is what it is.
Yeah.
Okay, so moving forward,
You
yeah.
asked in the group chat, what day was it? Like, I think Sunday or Monday, like,
Yeah.
who you thought would win. And I think I was the only one
You were the
that
one that said
thought
Trump.
Trump.
Yeah. I
thought
Because
Kamala
I
was
just
gonna win.
felt the climate. Like, I've never
Yeah.
seen this much
De
excitement
Jong?
for Trump.
You wore your red hat today. Respect.
Fuck it.
Respect that.
Come
Respect
on,
that.
bro. That's a sick red
You
hat.
did wear the red hat.
I'm about unity, guys.
Oh,
I'm about unity.
Now,
Thank you.
here's the thing. We're on the road every weekend for shows. tell you guys.
Don't do it. Don't do it.
Oh my god.
I told you guys. I go. It's gonna be a mauling. There's no
Yeah,
way
yeah.
that he loses
I don't
this.
think you said that.
Now let me tell you real quick. I'm on the road every weekend for
You don't
shows.
have to read the text.
I come back and I go. I think it's gonna be a mauling. I don't see how he could win. The energy.
Were you on the road this weekend?
No.
Where were you performing?
I was in the city the night before, and I foolishly decided to ask some audience members who they were voting for and why.
Which
And
audience members?
Some women spoke back, weird, and they.
Not anymore.
Yeah, those days are done. But so basically, they spoke back, and it seemed like they were really perturbed about the Roe v. Wade ruling.
What was that?
Perturbed?
No, that was the abortion thing?
Yeah. So, and here's the reality. If we just want to talk about it,
Talk about it.
you know what I mean? These women, man, they. Can I be honest with you?
Please.
Can I be honest? No, it's not even that crazy thing. I think that there are women who will never get an abortion in their life that still don't like the idea that something was taken away from them, and it's abortion is like their guns.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? It's just like we were allowed to do it, and now we're not
Alright,
allowed to.
Abortion
The
or
young.
guns is actually a
It's
fire
their
point.
guns.
It's actually
Yeah.
a fire point. I
Thank
actually
you.
like that. You thought Kamala was gonna win because you asked a comedy audience in New York City
No, I
who they
didn't
were
think she
gonna
was
vote
gonna
for.
win. I didn't think
They
she was
said
gonna win.
Kamala, and you were like,
I didn't think she was gonna
"Wow,
win.
this
I
is
didn't-
America."
I didn't think she was
The
gonna
Comedy
win.
Cellar,
There
Saturday
we go.
Night
No,
Live.
it was a Monday.
I'm not Daz, I got you.
Let me tell you something. Let me tell you something.
You should get a job on Kamala's team.
Let me
dude.
tell you something.
What
Let
a
me tell
fucking
you-
unbelievable
Let me tell you
thing.
something. This is why. This is what I realized. I don't talk to women. Okay? I have a wife.
Yeah, faith.
I talk to her.
Yeah.
When I'm done talking to her, I'm not trying to hear these bitches.
Yeah, okay, yeah,
You know what I
jump
mean?
on that,
So
yeah.
I got all my talking right there. Okay? She didn't talk to me enough about this Roe v. Wade thing. You know, I didn't get enough Roe v. Wade information for her. You know, she's busy trying to book a trip to Paris. That don't seem very Roe v. Wade. Does it?
Busy having a baby.
You know what I mean?
That don't seem very
You know what I
Roe v. Wade.
mean? We're good at holding this beautiful child.
Yeah.
If she got pregnant again, it's a blessing.
Yeah.
It's a blessing. Okay? Akash, why are you looking? You don't even know what happened with Roe v. Wade. You don't even know what happened with
What
Roe v.
happened
Wade.
with it?
Do you know it? Do you want to know what ended up
I
happening?
do want to know.
Do you want to know
Please
what
tell
ended
me.
up happening?
Please tell me. Please. I'm dying to know. I had no idea anything happened.
Do you think that she had the baby or not?
This guy.
Yo, I think she did have the baby.
Yeah, all this hoopla for nothing. all this
But she didn't want that
all this
baby.
hoopla for nothing.
Hey, whatever happened to that baby? Did we ever find out?
His name is Donald J. Trump. What an origin story. What a fucking origin story.
The boy who lived.
The boy who lived. Nah. She ended up having a baby. Right?
Yeah, I think so. I gotta double check, but I'm pretty sure.
Roe or Wade?
Oh yeah, there you go. So the
Talk
woman,
that shit.
The woman had the baby in 1970, but she wanted an abortion. But she was forced to have the child.
We need to talk up to this kid. I mean, imagine the trauma.
Oh, she was born in Dallas, yo.
Of course she was.
Hey, we didn't want that shit to happen.
What do you mean?
Texas is a very anti-abortion place.
Yeah, but you are very getting nutted in place. You know, girls in Texas like to get cummed in.
Is that a thing?
Dude, everybody knows that. Is one of the things that we would talk about amongst comedians on the road. We were like, yo, you gotta be careful about Texas. These girls like getting cummed in a lot.
So many illegals?
Say again?
Because there's so many
I
illegals?
don't know if it's in the illegals. I truly don't know the reason. Maybe it's something to do with the weather or the food. Even. But they love that closeness. They love that proximity, and they love the jazz.
Apparently, she's living in New Mexico, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, they asked her in
They were
2021. She
asking
said,
about
"I'm
you."
neither pro-choice nor pro-life."
The daughter?
Yeah. I didn't know that was an option.
Yeah,
to be.
that seems like a crazy option.
I mean, if you're the daughter, you gotta be like, Phew. Right? Like, you gotta be like a little anti-abortion.
She grew up not knowing
For
that she was
real.
a baby until her
Like,
birth
bro,
mother
I'm
appeared
trying
on
to play
Today Show in
Fortnite or
89.
something.
Oh, what an asshole. the
Yeah,
birth
that's
mom
crazy.
is.
Unless her life is shit and she's like, I couldn't figure this shit.
Yeah, that's what it seems like. That's what it seems
That's
like.
heartbreaking.
That's not how she
No,
finds
like-
out her mom went on a talk show, didn't
Time
tell her?
comes.
Bro, imagine she committed suicide.
Come on.
Imagine she committed suicide.
Put the
Late
suicide
term.
prevention.
Late term.
Imagine she
The
committed-
latest term
Mom
ever.
shows up like, I could have done this shit for you. Fuck.
Bro, did you hear about the woman that went in that suicide chamber?
Oh my
Do you hear about-
god.
This is like they have like the euthanasia chambers, and some girl went into it, like did the first
Ridiculous.
successful like euthanasia,
Okay.
and then they looked at the body. There's like strangle marks on her neck apparently.
In that pod in the woods?
So the chamber just has someone else in there that just strangles the life out of you.
Chokes you out.
That's fucking disgusting.
But now they're looking into it. They think it might be foul play that someone killed someone and put them in there. They're like, no,
Ah, that
crazy.
makes a
I
lot
don't
more
know.
sense.
I don't know all the
That
details.
makes a lot more sense than you go to a pond and the
It
guy
is.
wants that.
yeah, it's more like DIY. It's more like a DIY euthanasia chamber.
Mark, this is terrifying. Not in Trump's America. Not in Trump's America would have this kind of stuff.
go.
So what are we getting? Because I do think we swung. We were the beginning. I
American
texted
Golden
this
Age.
No, I mean, what are we getting?
running,
We
man.
were at
Go.
the tipping point. I believe this.
Before we get into that, can we
Dude,
just talk
why
about like
fucking
what we
stop
hope
running?
to see the next 4 years in America, right? What we would like in an ideal world. They put Roe v. Wade back on. Turn
Yo,
that back on.
I
Flip
think
that one.
He gets to replace 2 Supreme Court justices probably. He might pick 2 people that are low key pro-choice.
Exactly.
Because I don't think he was pro. I think he just wanted to win the election. I don't think he
don't
give
give a
a
fuck
What's
about
the deal with that? Are we banking on these people dying?
I think 2 might retire just because. This is what the Democrats didn't do. Let me just get out now in case I die and there's
Let's
a Democrat in
go.
office, and then we could lose our seats. Democrats are selfish, corrupt fucks, and Ruth Bader Ginsburg was like, I'll just die and fuck women in the future. But I think 2 the conservative ones might be like,
Thought
let's
they were
just
in
get out
game.
when we're getting this good, and he can appoint 2 conservative people in my place.
I understand.
So, but he's still got to get him past the Senate, and the Senate
And they won't
is,
step down unless they know who he's putting in place, and they have to be.
Okay, but basically, I think the smart move would be to protect Roe v. Wade.
Yeah.
And make an effort to protect
Oh,
it.
yeah.
Don't do this thing where you're just
What
like,
movie-
oh, let the
what
states
movie was
decide.
that?
No, federally
Forgot.
protect it. I think that's what
That was Little
the
Giants?
majority of Americans would want right now.
Yeah.
What makes you think he's gonna do that?
I
said no.
said wishful thinking. It's just wishful
Blindly
thinking.
optimism.
Yeah, it's like
Okay.
when they say they're going to take inflation down, we go, hey, hope. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
None of them know how to do it.
Oh, okay.
But like, this is what you would
We're
hope
just
would happen.
fantasizing.
Yeah, yeah,
like
yeah,
someone
yeah.
wins president in 8th grade, you're like, I'm gonna make the soda
Yeah.
and the water
Got it.
fountain.
School lunch
Yeah,
is
yeah.
free.
All right,
Yeah.
so reparations. Got
Yes.
it.
That's not
That's it. That's it.
Wait,
That's
can we
not
do
happening.
reparations for all disenfranchised people?
No,
Why?
no. Us first.
Let's do gay reparations first.
And
Gay
I want-
reparations. They got the most money
That's,
anyway.
no, gay reparations, bro. Think
Nah,
about,
I'm out.
think
Nah,
about
hey,
all the gay people that were
hey,
discriminated
we
against,
first.
bro.
I'm out.
Think about
on
all
that.
the Broadway shows that didn't happen that they could have got paid for. That's what I'm saying, bro. Let's do gay reparations, we'll do black reparations.
All right, guys, listen. Probably at some point in this episode, I'm not exactly
Oh,
sure
yeah.
when, we talked about the election and how Trump waxed that ass.
You could have bet on it.
Could have bet on it. You could have went with steak. You could have bet. You could have put your money where your mouth was.
Yeah, mouth.
Did I do it? Did I bet on it?
Yeah.
Yep.
No, I didn't.
No, you
No.
fucked up.
I fucked
Because
up.
you knew, based on your shows as a comedy seller, how things are gonna go.
You're 100% right about that. But the point is, you can bet on really almost anything. I mean, steak is the leader in global betting and U.S. social casinos.
Really?
I don't even know what a U.S. social casino is. Do you know what
I
it is?
don't know yet.
Do
Social
you
casino, you
know what it is?
gamble your
Do
friendship.
you know what it
It's a
is?
legal casino. Is what it
Is that really
yeah,
what it
yeah,
is?
Yeah.
We need to get to the bottom of that immediately, Jamil. I don't think that people really know what a U.S. social casino is.
Want they find out at Steak.
Shit.
Steak.com.
Steak.com. Listen, if you use the promo code Flagrant, you're going to get a welcome bonus.
Welcome.
Shit. That shit is almost as nice as a gift basket. But I'm serious. There are things that we could be gambling on. Will the Democrats storm the Capitol?
Yes.
Please.
Yeah.
Will they do it?
Pussy hats, blue hair, busting down the doors.
January 6th.
Yeah.
Who wants to get hit in the head with this
No.
sheet?
Okay. Go back to the show.
All right. Listen, we got to get back to the show. But listen, let's all hang out at the social casino later. Let's get back to the show, man. Okay, no, in all seriousness, what do we hope happens? there's been talk about Elon getting involved in, what is it, the Agency of Efficiency, right? And they're cutting a lot of the bloat in government.
Yeah.
Do we think that is a good idea? What would that look like?
It's a great idea. I mean,
Right.
If anything gets done on that front, it'd be a win. But I think it's going to be hard to get a single thing done on that front.
I think the
On a
problem is
corner?
with like a lot of these organizations is a government organization will come
Like
up
you're making shit up.
and they'll come up and in support of fixing a real problem.
Yep.
Let's say that problem is cats getting in trees, right? And that agency, lobbies to get some laws passed to make trees, make the trees all be covered in, steel so the cats can't climb them or whatever. All the trees are covered in steel. Cats can't climb the trees. We've solved the problem. Okay?
I like it. I like it.
I'm trying to speak to the real American people here. You fucking liberal cunt, you coastal elite, laughing at my metaphor that actually taps into the heartstrings of the good old American people. Okay? Thank you, Al. I understand it.
Project 2025,
Thank
the cats
you.
in the tree.
Okay? You wrap the steel around the trees, all right? Especially the willows and the oaks. And when the willows and oaks are completely wrapped, the cats cannot climb up them.
Why didn't you just go with homelessness?
It's too real for people. It's too real for
It's like a
people.
lot shorter.
It's too
You know what I mean?
painful.
It's just
the
a few
pain.
syllables. It's not a whole
Okay.
sentence.
Anyway, I think I've got a great solution to catching trees, by the way, and nobody's talking about it. I think I owe a little bit of credit for this. Okay. Think about how many people lose their cat in a fucking tree, and they just gotta sit there until it runs out of energy and falls down.
Let's say they're fucking
You know what I mean?
homeless. They
Listen.
solve homelessness.
You know
and
what?
then
You know what? Fuck America.
Come on.
So.
Getting that.
They solved the problem.
Great.
Now, do all those people that work at the Cats in the Trees Problem Agency, do they immediately retire after they come up with this genius solution? This genius solution to wrap steel around them?
no, kids, but still gotta have a purpose.
It's still gotta have a purpose. So what do? Trans rights. See, if y'all just let me cook, I get there always. Al believes in me.
I saw the
Al,
vision.
Al
I
knew
saw
the
the
truth.
vision.
Y'all let me cook, I get there.
the
Chef Boyardee Schultze in the motherfucking building.
Yeah.
But okay, so the point is, so they find another cause, and the causes get more and more extreme, and they get more and more ridiculous. But I have empathy for these people, right? Because these people are working, they solve the job, and they're like, well, I'm not gonna fucking retire and go find another job. This is where I work. Some of these organizations, I'm sure, are doing things that are in the level of necessity very similar to Kippa. And they can fucking get snips.
Absolutely. There's waste in the
why?
institutions, and you just hope they're able to
Salah.
strategically and surgically cut out the waste and the blow without making
But when
the
you say
correct.
it like that, nobody understands. Yes. When you say it like me, they're like, yo, we gotta fucking wrap steel around trees because cats are getting stuck up their organization. Get rid of it.
As much as a genius as Elon is, does he do it strategically? Because he went into Twitter, cut like 70 to 80% of the staff, and Twitter's still down like 80% of his value since he's taken over.
But yeah, but that's perception based, and I'm okay with cutting a lot of government jobs. Like Vivek said, you cut a little muscle, that's all right with me. You save a lot of fucking.
What is that famous saying? Cut my life into pieces. This is my last resort.
Suffocation,
No breathing.
Yeah.
Fuck it until it don't be.
Shut Honestly, a great counterpoint.
Yeah, Sad Guru said that. So, I think
Why is he so sad?
it is a little bit obnoxious.
You're not doing your job if you're a sad girl. You should be enlightened.
Talk that shit,
You know what I mean? That's the whole point. You know what I mean?
Talk that shit, man.
I'm only gonna accept it in Trump's America. I'm gonna put up with this if Kamala won.
Nah,
if
for
Mud
real.
had won,
If Mud
If
won,
Mud had
if
won?
Mud beat Paper, yes, we would be fucked.
That's a sick name for the gang, bro. Dude, Muds and Crips. That's what it's all about. You know what I'm saying? What's
Dude,
up,
the
Mud?
Muds and the Crips.
I kind of like it.
That is kind of cool. All right. In all seriousness, what do
What
we
do you guys
expect
call
for
again?
America? Jesus.
Jeez.
Alcohol.
I can say it now.
Why?
Trump won.
That's right.
We back.
Let's go. We
No.
One more time. You can think of something more.
Nah, but I got nothing. What else can we expect for America? Obviously, abortion's gonna come back.
Yep. Yep. You've been right about
Yo,
every abortion
when-
date you've had.
When
ever.
abortion comes back, when abortion comes back, ladies, stop being so cavalier about it.
That is important.
Yo, because we had abortion, and
fuck?
then Lena Dunham was out there like, yo, one of my greatest
Fuck outta
regrets
here.
is I ain't getting an abortion.
Yeah.
First of all, that's not
Thank you.
totally up to you. you know what I mean? You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? That pullout game was on Usain Bolt when he was stroking her down.
Dude, she could have got a donor. She could have got a sperm donor.
Just a scoop? You are diabolical.
That's diabolical.
Yeah.
You are fucking diabolical, Mark.
Well, did you hear about the trans person that tried to transition to get an abortion?
Mark, take his new tonic right now. Mark is on some wild shit right now.
His news is
I've
wild.
been reading,
Yeah, it
bro.
is.
I've been
He got
reading.
Zen in one hand, new tonic
Yo,
in
what
the
the
other.
fuck is going on here, dude?
You know Mark voted for Trump 13 fucking times.
He voted here and Florida.
Yeah, nail it.
No, great. What is this crazy story?
There's a trans person that tried to transition, be the first trans person to get an abortion.
When are they on camp?
That's a good idea.
When are they on camp?
I've been reaching out for
I
weeks.
want to go watch
I've been reaching
it.
out for weeks, bro.
I want to watch that
They
episode.
haven't responded.
Okay?
They haven't responded.
It's
Oh my
a
God.
woman that's transitioning into a man
A man transitioned to a woman,
to get an abortion.
and then get a uterus put in, and then get a baby in the
You
uterus.
can't put a uterus in.
Yeah, what the...
You're so small-minded.
I'm not small-minded. I just know for a fact you can't put it. I mean, you can put it in there. It's just gonna float around. It's not
Elon,
gonna
you
be
catch a
connected.
rocket on chopstick. You can't put a uterus inside a dude.
Yeah.
Come on.
Catching a rocket with chopsticks is easily. You just need to make a machine that goes like that.
They are kind of chopsticks if you think about it. They're kind of already chopsticks.
It's really not that hard.
It's just,
That's it. You don't think we've made machines go dead?
come on.
There's one guy in the booth and he just hits a button and it goes dead. And people acting like this is the greatest invention of all time.
Yeah.
No, what you just said to me is fucking
Can't fix
insane.
it.
Yeah.
Putting a uterus inside of a man. For the sole purpose of getting pregnant
Yeah.
and then having an abortion.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's the future.
Weird.
It's the future, bro.
Wow.
It's the real,
Katsu.
the real
Yeah.
thing that's happening.
Yeah, it's a,
No,
I mean,
it's not gonna
It's not a
fucking
real
happen.
thing. It's that it's one person on the internet that's
One
crazy.
fucking kooky mongoloid. One kooky mongoloid is gonna try to do this and then cause a big stir, but not in Trump's America anymore. All right, guys, let's take a break for a second. Listen, Sober October is officially over.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There you go.
Basically, what happened was we recorded our Whoop scores. I won by
That's not
unanimous
true.
decision.
That's not true.
You got the
In
popular
Donald
vote?
Trump's America,
He
I
won the-
won by
He won the
unanimous
electoral scores
decision.
and the popular
I
scores.
won the electoral
There's
college.
voter fraud. There's
There's
voter
no
fraud.
voter fraud. I won the electoral college. I thwarted all of the, liberal things, and basically what's happening now is that my sleep score is absolutely incredible. I've had zero alcohol consumption in the last 30 days. And I've been getting along with my wife a lot better. Turns out,
That's great.
when you don't drink alcohol and you sleep a lot more, your marriage is essentially fixed. It's perfect.
Oh, yeah,
I would
they're-
look at my
They are
HRV
playing
score. Is that it?
football there.
Yeah.
Is it HRV?
Harvard
Yeah.
variability is correct.
I would look at my HRV score
Yeah.
when I would get bricked.
When did you
and I
play
would throw it in the
football?
waistband.
What?
Packing.
You played
always
different
semi-concealed,
football.
to be honest with you, because if I had to lift something high off a shelf, you would see my dick tip popping out over my belt buckle. Whoops.
What?
That's what I call it.
There it is.
What? No. Not
That's
even.
really the reason why they call it whoops, right? Because you're reaching for the healthy cereal. Uh-oh. Dick tip popped up because my HRV is
Hell
phenomenal.
yeah, dude.
My blood flow's crazy. My dick has grown 2 to 3 inches minimum.
Playing to
Point
the
is, you can
guest.
see what kind of improvements in your health that you can make for yourself. Join the challenge
Guest-
and sign up
his
at
guest player.
join.whoop.com/flagrant. And one lucky winner will win a gift basket
Yes.
from Flagrant. Yo, that gift basket, it comes right back to you. It's crazy. A lot of people don't know that I actually know how to.
Oh, nice snag, dog.
That's what
That
I
was
do.
Nice. I got worried
That's
you
what
were
I
gonna catch
do.
it. I got-
I'm the motherfucking Silver Surfer. The point that I'm trying to make here is, come on, guys. Come on. It's November. We're drinking again.
Yes.
But we're still whooping.
Yeah.
Join dawhoop.com/flagrants
Oh.
and you will get a gift basket.
Wakanda, bro. Wakanda, bro.
Let's get back to the show.
What's up, Noodle Dicks? You see that blue light? You know what time it is. It's Blue Chew time. Here's the deal, guys. Is your dick game what it should be? No. You probably think it is. You're wrong. Your girl probably thinking about cheating on you right now. Honestly, if you got any fucking sense. And I am with her unless you take the necessary steps to fix your dick game. Step it up. Performance-enhancing drugs are legal in this world. In this world, that's why you need Blue Chew. Blue Chew has got all the same active ingredients as the other medicines, but it's the one that's been rocking with us since the beginning. This shit is Blue Chew. It's to chew, and you can get it for free. Your first shipment for free. All you gotta do is pay $5 for shipping. If you go to BlueChew.com, use your promo code FLAGRANT. You get your first month for free. You just gotta pay $5 for shipping. You have nothing to lose. And if you want, visit BlueChew.com. See all the details, all the safety information. But the point is, your girl's going to cheat on you if you don't step your game up.
What about foreign wars? Can we end those?
You know, you already saw what happened day one.
What happened?
The Houthis.
Damn,
You know who they are?
Yeah, Rwanda?
Yemen, motherfucker.
The Houthis and Tutsis?
No, that's the Tutsis and Houthis.
Oh, okay,
The
okay.
Houthis.
Okay.
They're in Yemen, and they day one were like, "Yo, my bad."
Oh, word?
Day one, they said, "My bad."
Trump be bringing the ruckus to these folks, dude. You gotta admit it. He be shutting them up.
Wait, what did they actually say?
They said, "My." I don't know how they pronounce it,
Is
but
this
it
true?
was,
Is this
What does that translate to in Arabic?
like
I
something
think
of
they
the sort?
said-
It's them saying that
Means kill the Jew.
our
My
operations
bad.
in the waters off because they basically target ships that are passing and hijacking and doing all the things.
and now all of a
We're
sudden
done.
it's all
We're done.
good. Now it's
We're good.
all good because they
It was
know what the
defense.
fuck
We're good.
time it is.
Iran, they need to be worried
Ooh.
because
Ooh.
he thinks they try to take him out, right?
Oh, fuck yeah.
That's the first people I'm getting my get back on.
Let's go get our corners, Doug.
What
Yeah.
about Russia, Ukraine? He's gonna. He said
That's just done.
He said he would stop that.
That's
Done.
over immediately. That's over immediately.
What about these Jews?
I mean, if there's any justification or reason why I would think that they're very happy, it's the fact that I didn't want to go to 58th Street to
think
that
so.
polling station, and Tanya goes, "I'll drive you." So I think we know what side the Jews are on in this
Oh,
one.
are they
Yeah, I
banning
don't think
TikTok?
so.
No,
Why not?
you don't have to do that now.
Why? It's Chinese
No, we
spyware.
should ban
Just
TikTok.
put a tariff on it.
Yeah, you gotta put a tariff.
He's
Yeah,
gonna make the
just
U.S.
put a
buy
tariff.
TikTok.
No. I think TikTok's fine.
Even if it's controlled by the Chinese government.
Yeah, what's your deal, dude?
Well, okay, my honest answer is
The 20s?
Trump is already elected. You can't win re-election, so he's not really worried about that. So he's like, all right, do whatever you want. Like, you can influence the next election, but it's not going to be me involved, so I don't go fuck. That's my prediction. I think TikTok, in terms of influencing an election that he's involved in,
20s?
is way more concerning for him than the following election. And I think by the next election, it's like I'm 82. If my kids aren't running, which I don't think any of them will, it's like,
Yeah.
I don't know how involved he's going to be, but I can't imagine it's going to be bad.
What about all the tweets? I've seen people say like, "Oh, America's over. This guy's gonna take Project 2025. Is gonna destroy the country."
No,
I
not
don't
at all.
think he's into Project 2025. I don't think he. I'm not saying everything he said was honest, but I believed him when he said, "I got nothing to do with that." That was. I didn't believe him when he told me I'm gonna dial back the rhetoric. That I have a hard time believing. But when he was like that, because that just doesn't sound like his shit at all, and he doesn't seem like he is gonna do something because they tell him to. Either part, anybody.
Yeah.
He's like, you're not gonna tell me what to do, no matter what fucking who you are. I don't care. I'm gonna do what I want to do. You're gonna try to push your little shit on me. It's not gonna happen.
Now, there is a part of me that goes like, he might look back and see FDR got 3 terms.
No, that might
Yeah,
happen.
I mean, like, somebody just got to not tell Trump that FDR got 3 terms. It's very possible Trump has no clue FDR was in there for 3 terms. But once he finds that shit out, he's like, oh, hold on. The fuck did that legless dude get to do 3 terms as president? I'm definitely running back for 1 more. Bloomberg got an extra term when he was mayor.
Bloomberg, we should run that back, to be honest with you.
Of course, there is a world where that happens, and I would be super against that. I would be so against that. That would be the worst part. No. In all seriousness, I'd be very much against that. And I think that is that would be a cause for concern. But I don't think he'll go after that. Genuinely, I genuinely don't think it. I genuinely don't think it.
Well, they wrote an amendment against it.
After FDR, right? So there's no rule before that.
I don't think so.
There
no.
wasn't.
There was no
I
term
think it was like an
limits.
unspoken thing. Like you just generally didn't.
Yeah,
do it.
because George
Washington
George
stepped down.
W.
So he did too. So everybody's
George
like,
W, you're right.
That's
It
what I
was
call him, George W.
funny.
Yeah.
so he did too. Therefore, other people can do too.
Yeah.
And he didn't. I think he intentionally didn't run a third time.
Yeah.
How much fun was having slaves that he was like, I'm tired of being president.
I'm not seeing the correlation. I mean, I'm sure it was fun.
No correlation.
I'm sure it wasn't boring.
He left the presidency to go own his slaves
But he
again.
can do both.
No, he couldn't.
If you're a president, you just kind of you just have slaves everywhere.
No, you couldn't. He couldn't do it the way he wanted to. He couldn't do it the way he wanted. No. George Washington.
George Washington.
George Washington. Like he
You
had to
think-
be in there signing documents all fucking day, and he's looking at the field. He's like, nah.
You think once Abe lost his slaves, he was like, somebody put a bullet in my head. Fuck.
Apparently that's why George Washington left. I talked to a guy. He's like, yeah, he's like a huge land speculator. Had so much money. He's like the wealthiest guy when he left presidency. To this day, he's like the
What?
richest president.
Okay, so when I said it, there's no correlation. It doesn't make any sense. And then when Mark
He
says
made it
land
make sense.
speculation and all
He
these
made it
other
make
gay
sense.
words,
You see how he made it
now
make
it makes a lot of
sense?
sense.
You see how he made it make sense? You just said the
Y'all
two
are,
things.
you guys hate real Americans. You guys hate real hardworking Americans. That's what it is. You're liberal elitists. You're some champagne liberals. And when a real hardworking blue collar American like me comes
Blue
along,
collar. You can't
blue
even put a
collar-
tushy on your toilet.
What's that?
The bidet.
Yeah, because that's a gay thing to do.
Yeah, I'm not gonna have something shooting in my ass.
That's the most blue collar, dude. That's
What
real
is
men.
going on with you?
Real. I'm just saying you can't install anything in your life.
Yo, can you just acknowledge that was a horrible way to prove
For
your
example.
point?
Here's a for example. I stand by my point. Here's a for example. I could have gone with a better thing you couldn't
Yeah,
install.
build a shelf or
Build a
something.
for example. Build a shelf
Yeah.
would have been a
Change
better.
the oil in your
Build
car.
a shelf.
Change the oil.
Something.
Change the oil.
Change the oil. Change the
tire.
flat tire.
Yeah, there you go.
There's a lot of things. I just grabbed the first one.
Can't even put foam on a macchiato. You call yourself blue collar?
Can't have someone what about you?
Matt Barr.
Yo, I got you so fucking rich, it's unbelievable.
It's crazy.
This guy's so rich, dude. What
Yeah.
a rich fucking guy you are.
A lot of Indians came out for Trump. Do you think you had anything to do with it?
Yeah,
Yeah.
dude.
You're
Son, I'm a hero over there.
you're a
right
glowing
now.
endorsement. I think.
I'm
Really.
a hero over there.
Yeah, what did Modi say? I'm gonna be. I'm
That
so
was,
angry.
that was the most non-racist Indian accent I've ever heard.
Yeah,
in
it
my
was
time.
Japanese.
It was
That was the funny. Nobody caught on to that. Nobody
did.
caught on to that. He did a Japanese.
I do it.
He
Yeah.
goes, I will handle it. And we just sat there and pretended that he wasn't doing a Japanese accent. He might not know that Modi's not Japanese.
yeah, he's Asian.
Facts. Okay, so we hope that Elon is involved. Yes.
Yeah, sure.
It is interesting that.
Worries me a little bit.
Well, okay, I want to hear that perspective.
Just because of how like quick he is with his cuts. Like in a private sector, cool, but like with the government,
So what?
it's
See,
too many
real quick.
ramifications.
So what he said was, I thought quite interesting. He was like, we have to take care of these people. So I think what we should do is pay them 2 years of salary the day that we fire them. We don't want people to leave and then be homeless. We don't want people to leave and hurt. These are people
I
with
didn't hear him
families.
say that.
So he's like,
Okay.
let's pay them the 2 years of salary up front. And then they'll have 2 years to figure out the next thing they're going to do with their life. And these are people who obviously can hold a job. These are people who obviously are proficient at something, so they'll go help America in other ways and hold positions in other ways. But at least we won't be kicking them out the door and then they're on their ass.
2 years.
But then also the way he
2 years is a little fucking crazy. 2 years? You get a fucking midterm to figure out what you want to do? That's nuts, dude.
You will leave my office right now.
A year is more than enough.
Nah, come on.
So whatever they end up coming to, at least what I was saying is when he said that, I was like, okay, at least there's some compassion here, because I was concerned about that too. You have a friend who has a job that he's working for the government, and a lot of people, you remember this, like when you get a job working for the government, there's this feeling like, okay, as long as I stick in this job
Yeah.
for 25, 30 years, I'll be safe. I'll have my what is it called, pension, and like I'll be able to like retire and take care of my family.
You rich fucks don't even
We
know.
ain't rich fucks. We just never had one of them jobs.
I never heard of a job where you get 2 years paid, like, paid severance.
So it's 2 years is a lot, but
Have some compassion.
Yeah,
bro.
you're so caught up on the 2 years.
2 years is insane, dude. A year is honestly too much, but you can have it.
Akash is so.
So I know this motherfucker was almost poor, and he's like, "Yo,
No, he was poor. He was
I
almost.
used to go to one of his government jobs." Yeah, you asked him about
Yeah,
a
because they
government.
don't do
But
shit.
he was
All right,
rookie of
guys,
the
we're
year
gonna
the
take a
next
break real
year.
quick because we got to talk about Morgan and Morgan. Look, if you get wrong,
Remember, 'cause he was rookie of the year, but they thought the other guy should.
I want to use. It sucks. All right, that shit
The
sucks.
guy
You
from
gotta
the-
deal with
the
doctors.
Jazz-
Medical
I forget
insurance
his
also
name. He's
sucks.
on Cleveland now, I
The whole
think.
thing is an awful process. It's really hard. You know what's easy though? Is submitting a claim
Yeah, Donovan
on
Mitchell.
Morgan and Morgan. You know what Morgan and Morgan is. It's
There's a
America's
fight
largest
between
injury
him
law
and,
firm, over 100
him and the
offices
other dude for rookie of the
nationwide, and
year
over
that
800
year,
lawyers,
for
and
Ben
they've recovered
Simmons.
over $15 billion for over
he was like an actual
300,000
rookie.
clients. They've been fighting for the people for over 35 years, and most importantly, submitting an injury claim with Morgan & Morgan is super easy. So again, guys, if you are ever injured, you can check out Morgan & Morgan, and this is important. Their fee is free unless they win. So if you lose, you don't owe them jack shit. They didn't do their job. The whole world should function like that. If you want more information, go to forthepeople.com/flagrant or dial pound law. That's pound 529 from your cell phone. And that's forthepeople.com/flagrant or dial pound law, pound 529 from your cell phone. You know this already, but they're lawyers, so they're going to make me say it. This is a paid advertisement. Let's get back to the show.
All right, guys, let's take a break for a second because I've got some incredibly important information. Sunday, November 10th, is the epic return
really? Yeah.
of Yellowstone, only on Paramount Network. Listen here, the wait is
Damn.
over, people. The television
Nick Anderson.
phenomenon is back, and everything is at stake, with the Dutton's darkest secrets on the verge of being exposed as threats mount on all fronts. What will become of the Dutton family? Can they save the Yellowstone Ranch and their way of life? How far will Beth and Rip go to protect the family legacy? And who's going to the train station? Generations of blood have led to this. Nothing, and I mean nothing, will prepare you for this must-see premiere event that you do not want to miss. So, from the co-creator, Taylor Sheridan, Yellowstone's epic return is Sunday, November 10th at 8, 7 Central, only on Paramount Network. Tune in. Now let's get back to the show.
You know what's so crazy? This group influenced the presidential election in 2024.
Yo, listen.
Ain't that fucking crazy?
Don't even say influence. We decided.
We were the turning point.
Just know, and we'll be left out of everything, and that's fine. We don't give a fuck about the credit. We know what we do.
I don't need this credit.
It's fine. We'll be left out of everything. It's totally fine. It doesn't matter. That is the nature of things that we started. Everybody else does it. But he was not up until this pod.
True.
After the pod, he surges, what, 3 or 4%?
Yeah, it was a wrap.
Never went back down after that. Okay. Shout out my Samoans. Shout out my Maudis.
Was that a haka?
That was a haka.
That's fine.
I just did a haka. I learned that one. That
The
was
straightest haka ever.
it was a really good haka.
You ever seen a gay haka before?
I have. Come on, dude. Come on.
Is that disrespectful? I'm sorry.
Yeah, they gonna fuck you up and out.
It's our culture.
Yeah, and you go to Hawaii soon.
All right, listen. What a fucking election special. It is crazy that we had any influence at all.
Yeah, it's really nuts, dude. I texted you.
It's
That's the most
absolutely
insane
absurd.
shit ever. My wife looked at me at about 10 p.m. She goes, "You did this." That's it. Hey, we asked her to come on. Brown bitch ain't want to come on.
Why didn't she? Why didn't she?
I don't know.
Is she gonna be at the inauguration?
Oh, does she have to?
As VP, she's got to be there,
I
right?
don't even think she's conceded yet. Dick.
Whoa. Whoa.
She's doing it 6 p.m. today. We're recording this Wednesday.
4 p.m. today.
They moved it up?
Yeah. Unless they move it back, but
She's probably gonna show up at 6. Minority ass.
He knows.
I said minority.
He
I
knows.
called her brown. I never would call
Bro,
her
with
that.
You don't think she's black?
She's a brown bitch. It's a brown bitch.
do you guys think that plays a little part in like the success of white people around the world just being on time?
No, I don't.
Do you think a little?
Fashionably late. That's y'all. Isn't that like the thing now?
No. We're on time.
No, it's because you're not fashionable ever.
The whites are on time. The whites are on time.
You're never on time.
Me?
You were the last one
I'm
here
not
by
white.
an hour.
I'm not white.
What are you?
Orthodox? I am Orthodox. You know.
Wait, but you guys aren't concerned at all with the way
Oh,
I stopped myself up first. I stopped myself first.
Are you concerned about Project 2025 and what's going to happen to democracy in America? Are you concerned about it? Oh, there's a sale in Canada. I don't care.
Wait, how you doing? I got a gay hawk. I gotta get myself out of here. I gotta get myself out of this one.
Oh my God.
Al is one Ame sale away from not giving a fuck about what happened in this election, bro.
Wait, are they on-
Ame, put some shit on 40% off for Al so
Are
we
they
can
on
get
sale?
over this
Nah,
shit.
send me the free packs. No, okay, never mind. You brought it up. I'm just curious.
Concerned about what?
Because you see how Twitter is right now. I know it's coming.
Well, how's Twitter right now?
Like all the fucking anti-Semitized shit that you see.
Anti-Semitites?
Stalactites.
Miles, don't start. Miles, don't start. I'll send it your direction
Hey,
right
it's
now.
not America, dog. Hey, you
Yo,
can't talk to
Miles.
Miles like that no more.
You do whatever you want to do over there.
Nah.
Miles so happy.
Miles texts me bad lady. He's like, damn, we losing, right?
He just goes, wrong text. All right. No, you. What were you saying? What? There's a lot of
I give
anti-Semitism.
up. I give
There's a
up.
lot of anti-Semitism on.
Are you
on
concerned about racism or
No, Elon, the way he slashes jobs. Like, he doesn't do it strategically. He's just like,
What about anti-Semitism?
Yeah, what does that have to do with?
he broke Twitter in a way that Twitter's kind of wild now. Like, it's a little, it's not
No,
as.
I see what you're saying.
Twitter is wild, and that is the cost of free speech. And I think what's happening right now is basically people are so like you get a new car, right? You get a Ferrari, you want to drive as fast as it can go. That's what people are doing with free speech. Ideally, what happens is in the next year, 2 years, people start going, oh, you don't need to drive the car as fast every single time. And I think this would happen when like Sirius XM came around. Remember, like, and you could curse on Sirius XM, and everything. And then people start to realize, like, oh, it doesn't make it better that you can curse. You know, like, eventually you actually have to say things that are like thoughtful and interesting. So right now it's working that you could just be, you know, super racist or super anti-Semitic or super hateful. And I think eventually it just kind of calms down. That's my suspicion.
Part of the reason is because he slashed jobs by so much, and so some of the people that were
Well,
like,
yeah.
would tame down that noise are no longer there.
I don't believe that. I believe that he's committed to free speech, and unfortunately, free speech protects hate speech.
I think it's the 70% drop in.
No,
I don't
because
believe he's
you can-
as altruistic as a lot of the right believes. I do believe there's some. He definitely wanted Trump to get elected. He had his reasons. I wonder if it's because JD Vance seems to be in Big Tech's pocket. Like Peter Thiel funded his whole presidential thing.
Mm-hmm.
I wonder if they're like, we can control that guy. That's one step away from Trump. Let's get Trump elected.
You trust him, JD Vance?
I do not.
Let me tell you something. To do what he did
He's
in his
nice.
life,
Oh, he's nice, but I don't.
like the guy, his mom was a drug addict, right?
Yeah.
Poor, ends up going to Yale, navigating Yale with really nothing to offer. Remember, a lot of people that go to these like elite private schools, like they're legacy individuals that, and the people at these schools, a lot of them are entering banking and or some sort of like VC, hedge fund world, where having wealthy family members is very valuable because you can use them as assets for investment, whatever these companies are. Navigating that world with really nothing to offer those people takes super high emotional intelligence.
Yeah.
This guy's smart. No question. I don't know how much I trust him.
That's exactly how I feel. He's nice. In that debate, he was nice.
He's nice.
He's a shark, dog.
But I need to sit in a room with him and I need to be like, and they asked us to have him on. And my feeling was if we had him on, but we didn't have anybody from the Democrats' side on, it would seem too unfair. Like, I thought we were more or less balanced. We had Cuban on, and then we had Trump on. We tried to get someone else, tried to get Buttigieg on. He's supposed to come on, then he has to do debate prep. Maybe that's an excuse, or maybe not. But
Yeah.
I just felt like it would be too one-sided. But I do, in order to know if I can trust him, I got to sit in a room with him. That is to do what he did in his life
no
is
question his ability.
is very difficult.
I don't question his ability. I question a little bit his motives and
Yeah.
how he
In
operates.
4 years, he's next up.
And think about it, like talk crazy shit about Trump.
Yeah, that's the wildest shit.
Well, to me, this is also evidence. Like people go, "Oh, Trump's about to go after all the people that hated on him." It's like, I don't think that's really how he operates. Like, if those people take a step in his direction, he's fine.
Vince McMahon.
So if they continue to hate on him, then they might be fucked. But if they try to be diplomatic and they try to work with him and do things, clearly he will forgive. He forgot. The VP is the guy who hated him more than anything, said vile things about him. Now he made him VP, next in line to rule the country.
Could that also show how easily manipulated? I mean, how easy he can be manipulated.
I think that's one way of looking at the argument, and it's just the same coin, right? One side is, oh, he's easily tricked or manipulated. The other side is, he looks at it as business, or he looks at it as the game. He looks at it as politics. And once you're willing to get on board, if you're willing to help the agenda, and you can help the agenda, doesn't matter what you said, let's go make this work.
Probably a little bit of both.
So it could be, yeah.
Our thing is culturally more annoying now with Trump.
Oh, break that down. That's an interesting one.
Like, from 2016 to 2020, it just seemed like every day there was like a culture war happening. He would tweet some shit, and then people would dissect it, and there'd be back and forth. And if you said something, like specifically on stage, and you'd be like, I think this, people would be like, wait, are you a Trump guy? Are you not? Da da da. Is that a redo?
I agree with you.
It's over. It's not a redo. It's an over. It's a unanimous victory. People are exhausted. I actually think him losing in 2020 is the best thing that could have happened, because America clearly wasn't ready to reject the path it was going on. And the 2024 victory is America unanimously going, okay, we don't like what the Democrats are offering. We actually don't even trust the way that they're positioning Trump to be. Like, yeah, there might be some issues, but it's not as bad as the Democrats are making it seem. I mean, like, seeing Obama on there, like, on the trail, like, heartbreaking a little bit, like him spouting hoaxes, like he's on the campaign trail, like he's saying things that have been debunked and proven false.
Like what?
They're good people on both sides thing. Like, there's all these things that, and it's just like, even Obama, like this is. Maybe I hold him to a higher regard than I should. They're all politicians. I should about that. Yeah.
I did hear the full part of what Trump said, but if you're at a rally and there's KKK and white nationalists right next to you, are there good people on both sides? If you're rolling with these people,
so the context of this conversation is the Charlottesville thing, and like there were people that don't want to tear down all the statues, and the people that do want to tear down the statues, and I think his argument that like there's good reasons to want to tear it down, and there's good reasons to maybe not want to tear them down. Like, we start looking into the morality of all these people that we have statues of, good or bad, all of a sudden they're going to start coming down. Like, George Washington had slaves.
I get it.
Yank it. Like,
But I'm saying,
yeah.
if you're marching for something, even though maybe the cause is moral, just or whatever the case is, but right next to you is KKK, it's white nationals, are you really on the right side?
I understand your positioning 100%. The unfortunate thing is sometimes your views align with people whose views are abhorrent. So, for example, KKK people might want smaller government. You might want smaller government. You guys might agree on that. That doesn't mean you support KKK shit.
Yeah, I'm just saying, if there's a march for smaller government and KKK shows up and be like, I'm gonna sit that one out.
Yeah, he could have said nothing.
Could, yeah.
But it's like, if you're in a free speech debate, you're like, look, I see both sides. But that doesn't mean I'm like endorsing the people that are pro-Hitler.
Well, I do think Trump will. He doesn't want to lose ever, so he will co-sign some shit that he shouldn't co-sign if he knows those guys are going to vote for him, and he doesn't want it. And if he doesn't, then he's going to lose their vote. He'll figure out whoever's outraged on the back end. But let me just not lose their vote. And I don't like that. I don't. I would say also, to your initial point, I think being comedians, we're in making the jokes, whatever. The height of like the cancel culture shit was like 2015, 2016. I think Trump getting elected the first time was the beginning of the downward. We're done with this. And I think 2016 when he won, everybody's like, but he lost to popular. So you still felt emboldened that the majority of the country is with me. Now this is such a decisive victory. Trump won the popular. I do think people in the middle have to start looking like, oh, these leftists don't got it. They act like they got it, they don't got it. And they're going to believe what they're going to believe because they're retards, as are people on the far right. But like,
just a rejection. Yeah, it's just a rejection of like actors as influencers.
Oh, yeah.
Actors and musicians don't move the needle.
No.
And a lot of that comes from the connection thing we were talking about earlier. It's like, as famous as actors are, we don't really feel connected to them. Like, I'm not as cool as fucking George Clooney is. He's the coolest guy on the fucking planet. You know, Ocean's 11, 12, 13. I'm like, I just want to exist in those movies. But I'm not connected to him like I am like a guy like Joe Rogan. So Joe Rogan could influence me way more than a George Clooney. And I think that exists even at the highest level, like a Taylor Swift. You know, we have an idea of who Taylor is. But I don't know if she connects with us on a day-to-day basis like a podcaster does. Or to be fair, like radio hosts did back in the day. Like a Howard Stern probably had way more influence.
Yeah. I mean, I think evidence of that is like the Tinos coming out. Like,
What's that?
Like Latinos came out in like big numbers for.
Huge numbers for Trump.
Yeah, and like I think that was like the biggest disparity from 2020. I think it was like 25 or 30 points.
Yeah.
More Latinos, even in like swing states like PA and shit.
Yeah.
So even on the heels of like Tony's joke, and people were like, "Oh, this is gonna swing the election." Da da da. It seemed like it had no effect.
No effect.
Yeah.
And Latinos were still like, "No, we like Trump."
And that's again in the face of the cancel culture thing. It's like that was one thing I did get right. We talked about it on the Patreon. I was like, I don't think this joke hurts Trump or Tony at all. I don't think it fucking hurts. They're both gonna be fine because it's just a joke. And again, to the cancel culture, we're not buying into that shit anymore.
I heard an interesting take about that from Noam from the Comedy Cellar, and he basically said like the fact that they didn't vet the jokes is indicative of them not caring about comedy being like them not
Dangerous?
taking dangerous like in a positive way, meaning like they're like, we're not going to be the administration that like censors jokes. They're just jokes. Why would we waste time looking over your jokes? We don't need to do that.
It's true.
You're a comedian and you just do it. Now, that might be a very gracious way of looking at it, but I thought it was a kind of interesting take. Like, I imagine the Democrats are like, well, we need to see every single word and see every single joke. And they're like, we're not going to police your fucking jokes. That's not what our organization is doing. That's not what our administration is going to do. Thought it was an interesting take. It's more one of those takes that like I want to believe. I don't know if it's actually real, but there you go.
Yeah, Tony's vindicated though.
Yeah.
Tony is free. He was watching that shit nervously, bro. Bro, Kamala.
It didn't work.
Yeah, Spanish Harlem.
Yeah. Puerto Ricans, they might still be upset, by the way. Tony.
And it's actually, he picked the perfect group because most Latinos don't like Puerto Ricans.
So that's the thing. That's the thing. It's like all these white people coming out like, yo, Puerto Rico's not garbage, but all these Latinos were like, yo, sometimes you get it right.
Yeah, I know. Like, I understand. You don't pick
Sometimes
a
jokes
group.
are true.
No,
That's why
what
it's
you do.
funny. Yeah. Did you guys talk about it on the Patreon, the Tony Hinchcliffe joke?
Yeah, it just wasn't. Yeah, we basically said the environment wasn't conducive to doing these jokes.
Also, the joke just didn't make sense. Like,
Yeah. And I think like
for New Yorkers is what I'm saying. Like, New Yorkers, we think of Puerto Rico as this like tropical,
Yeah.
beautiful island.
Oh, yeah, yeah,
It's
yeah.
not viewed as like a garbage
Yeah,
island.
that's a great point.
So that's why the audience was like, huh, that's weird. Because
Also-
it's like our first trip to a tropical, beautiful place in our lives. So the punchline didn't make sense, and that's why I didn't land in the room.
Yeah.
There are maybe places that you could use that would have worked for the joke, for
Damn.
sure. But I think the takeaway now is just,
Yeah, I thought-
yeah, he's a comedian. He's a
Thought
roast
so.
comedian. Like Jon Stewart,
He's the GOAT.
hats off to Jon Stewart because he took that shit on the chin. Like he went immediately. Hey, he's a roast comedian. He's hilarious. This is what they do. Maybe the administration shouldn't have brought him up there to do it because that's what he does. But we're not going to get upset at the guy for doing the thing he does.
Yeah.
And for him, knowing the base that he's built and the trust that they have in him, to come out there and say that first, I think that took a lot of the heat off of.
Yeah, he's the best.
Yeah. So what happens now? What does the media do?
Call my name.
I don't think the media can sit back and go, all right, we don't have the influence that we had before, and we have to change all our programs, and we have
Yeah.
to make everything long form where you can really get to know somebody. It just doesn't match the goal of legacy media, which is to sell pharmaceuticals or to sell Bud Lights or whatever the fuck the reason why there are all these shows. So I think the only thing they can do is deny that they have a lack of influence and then make radioactive the opposition.
Yeah. Same play.
The same play always. So it's just like, you're a racist, you're blah blah blah, like you're sexist, you're a bad person. All the like, I would not be surprised if there are articles about us and the other podcasts that were successful in this time that are not supportive and congratulatory. I wouldn't see the articles. Wow, they built up a community and they were able to have a conversation that was really unique.
They'll leave out that we asked Kamala multiple times to come on.
Of course, and they'll probably try to make us as toxic as possible by bringing up everything that we may be tangentially accused of throughout our careers, and not mentioning anything successful that we've done throughout our careers. Like, so, because that's the only thing that they can do to maintain their status quo.
Yeah. Which is a badge of honor, kind of.
It's a badge of honor, but I think it's important to talk about these things. Like, one thing I'll give Trump credit for is his
Tall white guys
created protection for him.
Yeah.
He's googling
Because
tall white guys.
The media online can create narratives that are just not true.
Yeah.
And you have to decide, like, should I address this? Should I just
Will
ignore
Kyle
it?
Korver
Like,
make
and a lot
it?
of times you don't want to address it because I don't want to put more heat on it. But
Kyle Korver?
there's a version where, like, if
About-
you address it, then all of a sudden your fans start to go, oh, this is bullshit. This is made up. This
What?
is not true.
Yeah.
And then they stop believing
I know. What are you?
what was going on.
What are you talking about?
Yeah.
Yes, it's just one of those things. Where, like, I
No,
wonder, like,
that's different.
Our
Yeah.
take is, like, if you're not really like a real resource that's not getting a lot of views, it doesn't really matter. Like, we just kind of ignore it. But maybe there's a version where we should be addressing more things.
Maybe.
I figured people are eventually going to see it, and then they stop trusting the outlets that just lie for views. But maybe that's not the case.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like I saw a
Yeah.
trend with Rogan. Like,
Oh, yeah,
once
no.
all the COVID stuff was happening, he was kind of talking out against it, and then they're using his images with like color correction to make him look worse on CNN.
Yeah.
And then the way that they've slandered him after he like became vocal about that issue, I think more and more people were like, wait, this guy, lifelong liberal, like, endorsed Bernie more or less, like was like supportive of Bernie, and now you're calling him like all these names and slurs. It's like, oh. And I think that is a moment where a lot of people go like, oh, they're just calling everyone they don't like a Nazi.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think
You know
we
what's
should pay
good?
attention to, like,
Hakeem
who
Olajuwon.
the creators are, who the writers are, and see if there's a pattern. You know, like, see if there's a pattern of these types of pieces being written. See if that's essentially like what they do,
Oh, yeah.
right? Like, in the same way that they'll try to create patterns for us, they'll try to create narratives about us. I imagine that if we look back at the pieces that they make, there will be some patterns that they might not like out there, and it might undermine their journalistic integrity. So it's something that we should look at, like, as we go into this new media landscape. It's up to us to also have integrity, which I think we did, especially during the election. Like, we could have been so biased in one direction. We had everybody on the right was willing to come on the show, and we're like, if we do that, it will just be too biased, and we're not going to give our audience like a true understanding of what this political landscape is, so that they can make the decision that they believe.
Yeah.
Yeah. It is interesting to see Bezos not endorse Kamala through Washington Post. And then also Zuckerberg kind of at the same time being like, oh yeah, the Biden administration was trying to get us to like squash all these stories.
Yeah, that was wild.
Like all these large tech guys all simultaneously.
That is also what makes me a little more wary of JD Vance, though. And I don't look at that as much as an admonishment of the Biden administration as I do. It was a little worrying that all these massive like technocrats or whatever are suddenly all kind of shifting this way. And it could just be they're unhappy. But I also am like, oh, your vice president is funded by a technocrat. This seemed a little convenient. The timing.
Yeah, but also like Pence was funded, but like was largely influenced by like the evangelical right, and I don't feel like that played like a huge effect on Trump outside of the.
I just don't
right.
fear their influence.
That was huge.
Yeah, but like I mean, it didn't stop necessarily like
Like
Pence.
Bronny
Like
James.
Pence wasn't just like lapdogging on Trump. You know what I mean? Like there's still like friction between them, and so in the same way, I wonder how much JD can actually.
Yeah, he has a 4-year
This is not my
contract. What's
conspiracy,
his
but
point? His
fucking
contract is crazy though.
conspiratorial.
Let's go.
These guys are powerful enough to be like, yo, let's just get Trump out of there and let's get our guy. He's VP now. We couldn't have got him elected. We can make him president now.
That's interesting.
I don't know if I should give credit to whoever, but like, yeah, that's not. But it didn't seem completely.
Yeah, well, where's
impossible
Bronny
when he
get
said
like
it.
4 years and
I think that
10 million?
all of these people are hedging, and I think Bezos is hedging
I think.
Bezos didn't endorse Trump. He just said, "I'm not going to endorse any of them." And by not endorsing through the Washington Post is what we're talking about. He left it open for interpretation, and now he can go to Trump and be like, "Hey, listen, there's certain government contracts I would like to continue." I mean, Jeff Bezos got like really favorable government contracts for his space program. Elon is best buddies with Trump. I can't fathom that Trump is going to side with Bezos over Elon for any type of like government funded space exploration. But maybe, and I imagine when you get to that level of business, you need government influence, and maybe he's doing this just to protect his.
Did he
interests.
con a team into drafting his son?
Newspapers actually endorse any.
Right.
It makes no sense.
Yeah.
It's supposed to be an unbiased
Right.
Yeah.
journalistic paper.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
no,
weird
it's
in itself. So
definitely
I actually like the fact that they didn't.
None of them should. Let us read your articles,
Yeah.
and by reading your articles, we come to a decision.
Yeah.
You don't have to tell us what to do. None of us told you. I thought that was
Yeah.
really cool.
I definitely
Like, we
think, yeah.
made a point to not say who we're voting for. I don't want to tell you guys what to do. You guys are smart. You can make your own fucking decisions.
Yeah. Read fucking articles
Yeah,
and then wait for
statistically,
J-Lo to
it
endorse
is
someone.
LeBron.
And do
That's it.
Yeah.
It's that simple.
That's what I did.
Wait for J-Lo to go up there and fake cry. Yo, I loved how like the second.
But who would
she
you
was
wanna
fake crying
play
up there,
on your team?
The Diddy marriage came out.
If you had to pick one of them to be on your
She was there
team, which
the
one would
night
it be?
Where Diddy shot that dude and then blame Shine.
Yeah,
and she
1000%.
rode with Diddy, which is like you a ride or
Yeah,
die.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yo, shout out J-Lo for that one. I mean, it's fucked up, but shout out J-Lo for that one.
Yeah.
But she lied on the stand for Diddy.
Right?
Right? Like,
Just done that out of sheer terror.
Did she take the stand? I thought she didn't want to take the stand because she didn't want to lie.
oh, so maybe she didn't take the stand.
Yeah, yeah.
Maybe she pled the fifth or something like
Yeah.
that. But like, she knew what the fuck was going on.
Oh yeah, she knew.
And this is the beauty of like, and also the annoyance of like when these celebs get involved in these things. You're just like, shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
I don't need you to hear about how toxic Trump is. It's like you were married. Not like you were just dating. You were married to Diddy.
How long were they married for? Like a while? Or was it like a year thing and then it broke up?
I think in Puerto Rican standards, it's very long. yeah.
Yeah, I don't
It's
think
like
they
dog
did
years.
that.
Yeah, it is. It
They
is.
could
Yeah,
do
I would
that.
say it was about 21 years of marriage. Yeah, in Puerto Rican, with Puerto Rican standards.
That's a good. That's a,
Yeah,
that's a
yeah,
long
yeah.
time.
that is funny.
Yeah.
That's a long time.
Yo, shout out to J Lo, man.
Have you read Kim Porter's book yet?
No.
No.
Bro, you gotta read it, dude.
It's not her book.
It's her book, bro. It's
It's
her
not-
words.
it's not her
It's
book, bro.
words. Come on.
It's not her book.
Diddy was banging everyone and their husbands.
I believe that.
We didn't talk about
Young Thug.
Thug.
Oh,
Oh
shit.
This
yeah.
is crazy.
Yeah.
This
What,
is-
what an insane sentence.
I mean, kind of wild. And
Yeah.
not shocked that they did it before the election. They knew they were going to lose this fucking trial.
Oh.
And I think they did it before the election because they knew that it would be completely squashed by the election. This is a 5-year-long trial. I think the most expensive trial in Georgia history.
Yeah.
Wow.
And they get nothing. They get time served,
I know, it's crazy.
15 years
15
probation.
That's nothing.
which I feel like eventually they're going to take down on good behavior. Does that
Yeah.
happen?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So you can renegotiate your probation
Yeah.
based on good behavior.
Yeah.
So like you're on good behavior for a few years. Then you
What does
take it down.
probation mean? What are you not allowed to do?
Can't smoke, can't drink. I think he has to move out of Atlanta.
Oh,
You have a
really?
probation officer that
He
you can
can't
check
talk
in
to
with. You
anybody.
have
Kind of nice.
He can't associate with anybody who has a gang affiliation.
He's gonna get so healthy.
How are they going to like monitor all this?
well,
He's a
I mean,
probation officer.
If he
Going through all your
tweet
text
anything,
messages?
if you post anything, it's like he really has to live like a fucking Mormon right now until for the next 15 years or.
I mean, there are certain things that you could get away with. What I would say is the probation, and I obviously I don't know what the fuck jail is like. I'm sure it's fucking horrible, but the idea of like the looming violation of probation over you, like every second. Oh, if I do this, is it gonna?
Yeah, but trust me, you
Way
take
better
that.
than being in jail.
Yeah.
1000%.
Like, he was facing life.
Yeah.
Wow.
Oh,
He was facing life.
Yeah, literally
So
life, yeah.
he won.
Yeah, wow.
This was a win, major
Yeah.
win.
This is why you need Republicans, man.
Yeah, real talk.
This is why you need Republicans, bro.
They got Kodak out.
Yeah, Republicans would have never wasted money. They'd be like, free him, bro. Free Thug, bro. We
Hell
need
yeah.
more music.
Didn't Trump do something with Lil Wayne too? Didn't he like get him?
Wayne's, I think, endorsed Trump.
Is that what it was?
I just have a real quick question about this is Lil Wayne. I wonder if this is just media. I wonder if this is like an angle trying to convince us. Like, I look at everything that I consume right now. It's like, is there a narrative here that people are trying to justify a decision?
Oh my God.
And it very well could be people are taking the worst parts of his concerts and putting them on the internet to justify him not being the Super Bowl halftime performer. But what is being shown on Twitter, I don't think is indicative of a Super Bowl halftime performance. And I say this as someone who supported Wayne his entire life. I fucking love Wayne, one of the greatest rappers of all time. Have any of you seen Wayne live?
I've seen him live, and it was amazing.
Okay, so then
Amazing.
maybe this is people hating on the internet and
Fake
trying.
news.
It's
Fake.
yeah,
How long
maybe it's
ago
just
was
fake news.
It was a while. It was when him and Drake were doing that co-tour situation, and he would actually body Drake almost every night. Like, I saw 2 shows, and it was
Okay,
He
so then-
steals the he steals the show.
Okay, so then and what you're seeing now on the internet, you're like, this doesn't match up at all.
Yeah,
with
the
what-
audio wasn't good. Like, it was
Okay.
it was a little off. Like,
So this is some hating shit.
I think so.
And
Personally
who's
think so.
behind that?
I don't know. It's just maybe not the greatest production.
Also, the Kendrick team online is pretty.
Who's behind it, bro?
I mean,
Who's behind it?
if it is, then
The Democrat shill, Jay-Z?
nah.
The Kamala supporter,
Jay-Z's
Jay-Z?
been quiet. He
got his wife out there doing a
he
fucking
didn't personally
fake
endorse
concert.
nobody.
Yeah, because
Jay-Z's know what
he's a
time it is.
criminal. You don't put criminals on stage unless they're the president.
Exactly. He should have backed the criminal.
Nah, that is fucking 50 Cent is the man, bro. They ask him nonstop to do. They hit me up. The Trump team hit me up and asked if I could reach out to 50 to get him to come to the MSG shows, and I was like, I don't know, man. That's it's 50 marches
That's
the
a
beat of
big
his
ask.
own drum.
Yeah, that's
This is
a big
what he
ask.
does, whatever he wants, and he always says he doesn't do religion or politics. And after Trump won, he posted a picture with him and Trump, and he goes, I'm always walking out the ring with the winner. Or something to that. Like, anger. You know what I mean? Like, this guy is.
He's great.
Oh, man. There was a great interview with him where he was talking about Nelly's It's Hot in Here. Did you see this? He was on Ebro, and he was talking with Ebro about Nelly's It's Hot in Here. He's, remember It's Hot in Here? I ain't got all my clothes. And he goes,
Yeah,
when I saw that
Portland
song,
Clyde.
I was like, oh, this shit is a hit.
Portland
And
Clyde
then
was
he
different.
goes, so they make Lloyd Banks Fire,
Yeah.
which is like, and he blatantly said, I couldn't believe he was blatantly saying, he goes, so we made Lloyd Banks Fire, which is just another version of It's Hot in Here.
Yeah.
And he blatantly says, he goes, there's been plenty of times throughout my career where like I saw a song that was hot and we did our version of that song was hot and then blew up.
Wow.
I couldn't believe an artist was sharing that.
Yeah.
And it just shows like the way he thinks about rap. Like he's thinking of it as, he's obviously a creative guy, but like there's a business behind this. McDonald's comes out with the McRib. What's Wendy's up to?
It was not far how he came up, because in the mixtape scene, all he was doing was just taking people's song and then
And then
remixing.
flipping them.
Yeah.
I mean, it's smart, but just I don't think a lot of artists would admit that there was another song that was really hot and they wanted to do
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
a version to
Yeah,
compete.
they would
So much
never.
insecurity. I started this. I made the whole flow. I created everything. Just to be like, look, the shit was fire, and so we did our version.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nah, 50's the man, bro.
Right?
He's really the man.
We need 50 on a pod.
Bro, he scared me when he was going at the guy with the chain. That shit terrified me.
Wait, whoa.
So a guy, a jeweler in New
Tracks
York,
NYC.
Oh, tracks. Oh my god.
I didn't know this was a thing you can't do.
What's
I
that?
grew up in the suburbs. I
Yeah,
did not know
yeah,
this was
yeah,
a
yeah,
violation of blood.
Tracks a wild boy too.
Yeah.
Tell this whole story.
It's funny.
Basically, 50
think I
Cent
got
gets
this
a
one.
brand
Tracks
new
is a
chain.
legendary.
I got this
Is a
one.
legendary New York City jeweler.
Yeah.
Legendary, and he has used social media brilliantly to build his brand. Like he does these things that you can't not look at. It's amazing. He'll just like take gold bars and he'll like hand them out to random people in the street.
He'll hide them all over the
He'll
city.
hide them and say, "Go find it." Like
Yeah, it's crazy.
he's really creative with his usage of social media as advertising for his business. Okay, go on.
But this thing terrified me, bro. So basically, 50 Cent comes out with a brand new chain, and he's like, yo, this is my new chain. He got it made by a specific jeweler that 50 always works with. And then Trax sees the chain and goes, hey, guys, 50 has the sickest new chain, so I've made basically a replica that I'm selling, and you can buy them now.
That's not exactly how it was.
Is that not what happened?
No, 50 had an iconic chain. And then Trax was like, yo, remember this 50 chain we're selling these pieces. It was a Jesus piece.
Yeah.
But I don't think 50 was like, yo, here are my new chains, and he's selling rap.
No. 50 just came out with a chain. It was like
He's had it for, that's like an old chain.
No, I
It was
didn't
a
know that.
cross.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's a cross, it's the piece.
Yeah, it's a Jesus piece.
But it's an old thing.
that's like his iconic thing.
Nah, it was a thing that he I popularized. But I don't know if he did a brand deal with a
Oh,
jeweler
no.
specifically.
It just he got one made not by Trax, but just by
yes,
a different jeweler.
I just want to set the record straight for what happened.
And then Trax saw it and was like, "Oh, this chain is fire."
This piece
yeah,
is
this
a
piece.
cross, yeah.
And now I'm gonna make my own version of it.
And he was
that's
like, yo,
very
here are the
similar.
50 Cent crosses. Like,
Yeah.
yeah. And he used 50 Cent in the video.
Yeah.
And 50 Cent just goes, this was foolish. You'll hear from my lawyers, or something like that. But then Trax takes a fucking duffel bag of gold and platinum bars and goes to Queens. Goes to 50's neighborhood and starts handing them out. And 50 got so much love in the neighborhood still. Did some random street dudes just walk up to him while he's in the neighborhood and go, yo, you gotta get out of here.
Wow.
50's not even in the neighborhood anymore.
That's fine.
But the fact that they knew something, he was like,
That's
yo, you
crazy.
gotta get the fuck out of here.
Is Trax the bravest guy in the world?
Yeah, you know that he went and fought the watch dude that we hung out with in Ireland,
What?
Nico.
Oh,
Yeah.
watch Nico, yeah.
Like he went out there and they fought
Why?
because they were beefing over something, and he pulled up and they boxed. I'm telling you, this guy Trax is like an underrated self-marketer. Like
Oh,
in New
amazing.
York City, we know him, but outside of New York. Put it this way, you know how like now with the popularity of like watches, all the guys on 46th Street started to really blow up. The watch trading thing,
yeah.
It became a huge trend, and they deserve all their success, and it's amazing. And but Trax before that was like a viral jewelry guy in an area that we knew in the city. But I guess it wasn't. I don't know. How do you describe it? Al?
I'm just saying, to make noise being in the Diamond District is crazy, because it's like opening a shoe store, and there's 1,000 other shoe
They're still
stores
the
right next
exact
to you.
same
So
shit.
you have to be cutthroat. You have to market
Oh.
yourself better than everybody. You have to just do something different to stand out. He's been able to stand out. Greg Yuna is another one. Mr.
Greg,
Fly.
yeah.
Greg makes
Like,
beautiful
they've
pieces.
just
Great
done
marketing.
Great marketing.
Moses the
Yeah.
jeweler has
Yeah.
been phenomenal.
Yeah.
He's been phenomenal. And then there's one more kid that I was talking to. Oh fuck, he does some stuff with Moses.
Benny?
What's his name? Vukum. They've been phenomenal.
All I'm saying is 50 Cent comments on my post, "This was foolish."
You've taken a post down.
I'm on probation. I'm on Young Thug
Nah.
time. I'm going to
Yeah,
Malibu.
yeah,
15 years, you'll never hear about me.
The best was
Trax will see that. He's like,
He's like,
let's go.
So he created the
Bro,
contract
Trax-
because he said like
Trax got some Vince McMahon.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
he's like, this is gonna be fun. Let's
That is
dance.
terrifying.
and he had several days to do it because 50 also said, I'm gonna need that by Monday, which is the scariest
I'm
thing
gonna
that 50
need that
could
by
ever.
Monday.
What does that even mean?
Yeah.
I'm gonna need that. But me what?
I need the money.
I mean, you need that.
Because the famous battle that he got into was with the producer Randall Emmett, and it was the
Tell
greatest
this-
reality show that's ever
Tell this
existed.
story. This is fire.
Randall Emmett's a producer that was making all these indie movies with 50 Cent, and I think he just owed him a few $100,000 that he
And
didn't
his
get.
wife was one of the chicks on Vanderpump
Yeah.
Rules. Okay, so they got into it over something.
and they got into it. There was just nothing.
50
It was
laid it all out.
but it was non-stop, and it was just like this
What,
guy.
like just dirt about him?
dirt, posting the least flattering photos you've ever
He's
seen.
coked up and shit. Like, yeah.
And
But-
then he would actually then post the calls of this guy. Hey, 50, please stop doing it. It was crazy. It was pure torture. And then he eventually got paid. And
Yeah, that's
then-
terrifying. 50 Cent can't
can't.
gets a hold of you. Yeah, any one of them, you're done.
50 or Candace,
done.
you don't want no problems, bro. I know Candace tweeted a little video of us saying we don't want no problems.
Yeah.
Just the fact that she tweeted a video of us, I was like,
that was
You get the notification.
I
it's
said,
done.
no, no, not Candace. Nah, Candace, you gotta play around with. Don't play around with Candace. You don't play around with 50 Cent. Simple as that.
That shit scared me, bro.
Yeah. Hope you guys are having a great day. I hope you guys like the results of the election.
What about Dr. Umar? What's he doing?
Yo, what's
Man.
up with that?
I said we would donate the money. So Dr. Umar, you gotta pay him to go on White Podcast.
Yeah,
Respect.
I love that.
And Black Podcast, shit. You gotta get paid.
He got to get paid.
But whatever. And so I said I would do it. I was like, yeah, we'll donate the money to the school.
At first, And then
We're
his-
waiting for the deal. We never got the
No,
deal.
And then he said he only wants to go on if it's just you.
Oh, that was right. That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, did we ever follow up about? It's not like a gotcha thing. We just want to.
That's it. I think
And we did.
the perception of it is, I think he believes that we're going to debate. I don't think that he realizes
We're
that
gonna endorse him. There's gonna be a lot of agreements.
this is like the pyramids. Like, just tell me whatever you think about the world. This is gonna,
Colonizer, enslaver, and occupier. I just want more of those.
Well,
Yeah.
CEO.
To see
I
it.
just want
me
more
with
CEOs.
all your acronyms. I am so ready to have some fun. But the boys got to be here. It's no fun
I
if
know,
it's
yeah,
just.
that's-
But he thinks that we're going to gang up on him. I assume that's what the concern is.
Yeah.
Probably.
So, Dr. Umar, that is not what's going to happen. We just want to have some fun. My
Come in
brother.
Come in peace.
My brother in melanin. My brother in Christ in melanin.
I gotta give his number to Duff. I think Duff can pull it off.
You think?
What do you
Yeah.
think about the dreidels?
Yeah, what does he think about the dreidels?
I have a feeling he don't like
He
him.
probably loves him. I
Yeah.
think he's a huge fan.
Yeah, let's go with that.
Do my best, but yeah, give me some.
Yeah. Duff can just, fast talk him, buzzwords. I think it'll
Buzzwords?
be good. Yeah, buzzword.
Listen, Dr. Umar, we love you. We want you on, but you got to come and hang with the boys. Okay, we support whatever your agenda is, whatever your geopolitical agenda is, whatever your emotional agenda, whatever your
big
agenda
shamrock.
is. Just know that we are huge fans. We support it. And we love it over here. Okay.
No bunny hopping.
No bunny hopping. We don't believe in bunny hopping over here.
we don't
Shout
do
out to the buttercreams. Shout out to the vanilla creams. Shout out to the pecan.
Yeah, the caramel.
brownies,
Yeah.
the caramels.
Yeah.
Like, you describe women's skin
big-
in the most amazing
big
poetic way.
shamrock.
We want those descriptions over here. Okay? Shout out to Autumn.
Yep.
We want you on the pod, but we got to end this pod right now. God bless you. God bless all of you. Welcome to the
Yeah,
next
yeah.
golden age of America. Let's fucking go.
Inshallah.
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 The Sephora Savings Event is here.
World in my hand, I'll take this and that.
And that. Ooh, and this. Oh, it's true. Find everything you want on sale at the Sephora Savings Event. It only happens twice a year, and it's on now through November 11th. Find brands like Rare Beauty, Glow Recipe, Valentino, K18, and more, all for less. Shop at Sephora and Sephora at Kohl's today. Limitations apply. Must be a beauty insider. See terms at Sephora.com for complete details.
Your teen requested a ride, but this time, not from you. It's through their Uber Teen account. It's an Uber account that allows your teen to request a ride under your supervision with live trip tracking and highly rated drivers. Add your teen to your Uber account today.
What's up, y'all? Welcome back to Talk Tua, a better original. Download better and play better picks. Thank you for tuning in. I hope you've been enjoying the show. Make sure you're subscribed wherever you're listening now and leave me a 5-star review. I want to hear what you think of today's episode, so be sure to leave me a comment too. Welcome back to Talk Tua. Like an emphasis on it, like tuh. Can you name every single subscription you have? I know I can't name all mine. I just learned that over 74% of people have subscriptions they forgot about. With Rocket Money, I don't have to remember every subscription or worrying about forgetting any, because I can see them all laid out right in front of me. Rocket Money is a personal finance app that helps find and cancel your unwanted subscriptions, monitors your spending, and it helps lower your bills so you can start saving. See all your subscriptions in one place and know exactly where your money's going. For any you don't want anymore, Rocket Money can help you cancel them with just a few taps. And Chelsea, you know the best part? You can get alerts when bills increase in price. There's unusual spending activity. Going close to over budget. Rocket Money has over 5 million users, and it saved over $500 million in canceled subscriptions, saving members up to $740 a year when using all the app's premium features. Stop wasting your money on things you don't use. Cancel your unwanted subscriptions by going to rocketmoney.com/talktour. That's rocketmoney.com/talktour. Today we have Frankie, and then we got Apollo, and then Miss Holly Madison.
I love having the dogs here. It's so zen vibes.
It feels like a homey kind of thing.
It does.
Don't put your snoot in my coffee.
Wait, you gotta give her her gift first.
Oh, I do.
Oh, I have a gift?
Yes.
Oh my god.
I actually almost forgot.
Oh my god, that's so cute. I love it. Talk to a 24. Get out and vote.
It has nothing on your hoodie you have on though.
Yeah, I have my Donald Duck hoodie with the it has the devil horns, so
Got Spooky Donald.
Oh, I love that. Yeah.
I come across something you have. It's like a what was it, Playboy Murders?
Yeah.
I'm fixing to start watching that. I'm so curious about it.
Yeah,
Like-
I love doing that show. I love telling those stories. We just cover a bunch of murders that took place kind of within the Playboy world. It was such a big company. There were so many people that worked as bunnies in the clubs across
They
the
threatened to
country,
trap us
so
here
you're gonna
forever
find,
until our
you know,
brains shut
stories
down.
within these
That's
people's
kinda
If we
scary,
believe
though.
them.
It is very scary because every story is so completely different. You know, the murders happen. You know, some of the people we talk about that were in the Playboy world were the perpetrators, some were the victims, and we're recording the 3rd season now. So it's like there's so many stories.
Did you ever get scared while you were in the mansion?
Not about things like that. When I was there, it was more like drama, and it was a lot of competition and a lot of like weird rules, like you couldn't leave the house after 9 o'clock and things like that. So it got really depressing for me. So it was more like that kind of a thing. I felt safe inside the mansion, like there was security, and it was a gated property and things like that. So I didn't feel like I was in danger of being murdered or anything.
Well, that's good.
Yeah.
I mean, to an extent.
That's a
So,
start.
I know Hugh could have like a few girlfriends. Were you allowed to have like a boyfriend or anything?
No, that was totally against the rules. Most of the girls did though. I think Bridget and I were the only ones who didn't and just weren't interested in dating around. But everybody else kind of did on the side and kept it on the down low. Yeah, but he would get pissed if he found out. Like there was right before I moved in, there was a girl who was having sex with one of the butlers on this couch. That was like there was this living room that would turn into a movie theater, like the big screen would come down from the ceiling, and there was this like tiger print couch behind it, and she was having sex with this butler on the couch back, and so that was a big drama and scandal. And then none of the girlfriends were allowed to like fraternize with the butlers after that. Like we weren't supposed to like hang out in the pantry or like talk to them too much.
What would happen if he did find out?
People would get kicked out. And when I first moved in, I would see people, like somebody left to go like visit their family, but then another girl ratted them out and said, no, she's really seeing a boyfriend. So all her stuff in her room just got packed up in boxes and like sent out the back gate and like wasn't allowed in. And it was like this big, like shameful drama, in that community. And it was like, she's going to get like DNA'd, which stands for do not admit, but I didn't know that because I was brand new. And I was like, DNA? Like, are they swabbing her DNA? Like, what are they doing with it? So it just seemed so, like I was 22 when I moved in there, and everything just seemed so dramatic and crazy. And then I got to the point where I was kind of terrified of like being kicked out at any moment because I didn't really have anywhere to go in LA. So it was just a whole like whirlwind.
I'm glad I'm getting to ask you this because like I would have assumed like all the girls like stuck together and they had each other's backs,
no,
but they would like tell on each other.
100%.
That's horrible.
It got better over the years. Like it got to the point where there were only 3 girlfriends instead of 7, and I really started to take the initiative because, anytime somebody would come to test for Playmate of the Month, they would stay in the guest house at the mansion, and they would come out with us and stuff. So it got to the point when a new girl would arrive, I volunteered to like give them tours and like show them around and introduce myself. So that kind of got everything off on a better foot, and then everybody started becoming friends and like getting along, and there wasn't really the competition. But when I first moved in, it was an absolute disaster. It was just, everybody was trying to backstep.
And when you have massive populations of people, a lot of times it's based around universities. Like Los Angeles is slightly different because Los Angeles has universities, but really it's like more around Hollywood, which is equally delusional. But most big cities are flavored by a university. Like Austin is flavored by the University of Texas.
Yeah.
It's why Austin is progressive. Austin is, for people that don't know outside of Texas, Austin is one of the most progressive cities. Like if you look at, we voted in Austin, the city of Austin voted more for Kamala Harris than the city of Los Angeles did.
Oh, wow, really?
Yeah, higher percentage of Democrats voted for Kamala Harris than even Los Angeles.
Well, I think it seems like a lot of Democrats, I don't know like a ton about politics, but it seems like a lot of Democrats, like I understand a lot of the voting because it's hopeful voting. It's like wishful thinking.
Well, they're feeding off of narratives. Like, you're a good person if you believe this, but the consequences are what they're ignoring. The pretending that the economy's in a great place, that's crazy. Talk to anybody who's broke. Talk to anybody who's struggling to pay for bills and groceries. Talk to anybody who's trying to buy a car. The economy is bananas right now. It's sketchy, very sketchy.
Playing can.
Yeah.
A lot of it is
people are robbing each other on Facebook Marketplace.
A lot of it is recovering from COVID, I'm sure. There's probably a lot of blowback from that. I mean, they shut the whole fucking country down. which is just so nuts.
That was insane, man. I think that's one of the but yeah, people are robbing each other on Facebook Marketplace. My buddy was going to buy a couple walkie-talkies off a guy, right? Gets fucking mugged, right?
Really?
Yeah, he's going to buy a couple of
So he meets the guy to go get the walkie-talkies, and the guy mugs him.
And it's like the 7th story I've heard, but it's like, people are doing crime. People are resorting to crime, and that's when it's not good. I feel like
Well, not just that.
when people
One
are
of the
resorting
thing
to crime.
This administration did that I think is terrible, and this is a progressive liberal thing, is that you have these DAs, these George Soros-funded DAs that just let people out for violent crime, and get the no cash bail thing. And when there's no repercussions for crime, guess what? Crime goes way the fuck up.
Oh yeah, if I'm a criminal and they're like, hey, it's crime time or whatever,
Yeah.
I'm gonna fucking put on my cleats or whatever. I'm gonna get out there.
You're gonna go to jail and you're just gonna get released.
Yeah, it's like catch and release. It's
Yeah.
almost like the fishing rules or whatever.
Like if you go trout fishing in the lake.
I mean, a little bit.
You're a fly fisherman. You used to be a cop, now you're a fly fisherman with
You just have a
barbless
pair of
hooks.
Nikes on the hook. Yeah, you just put them out there.
Yeah, those fishermen, they use
Yeah.
barbless hooks, and then they let the fish go.
I went fly
Okay.
fishing recently.
Yeah?
Yeah, man.
Did you have a good time?
Yeah, you know what I did? I thought it was like, let me think about what I thought it was like.
It's the more sophisticated way to go fishing.
Yes, it was like, hey, excuse me, fish.
Yes. Gentle casts.
Yes. It was like, hey.
It also requires a lot more skill.
Well, it requires more patience.
For sure.
You can't like if you have a kid or whatever, you can't do it. Like
Right.
Like if you're just fishing on the bank, you can have your kid and you can be sitting there smoking or whatever your kid likes to do, But if you're in that, you have to constantly be moving it.
Right.
It's very kind of like it's kind of homoerotic almost. It's like, hey,
What?
fish
Really?
or whatever.
Oh, it's
Yeah.
flailing.
It's like,
It's
hey,
gentle.
fish.
Think so?
Yeah, dude, you haven't seen those guys? It's like, hey, fish, I'm over here. I'm over here, boys.
Well, the least sophisticated form of fishing is like a bobber with a worm on it.
Yeah,
Right?
yeah.
That's the least. You throw it out there. But that's some of the most fun fishing because when that bobber starts moving, you're like, oh, shit.
Yeah.
Oh, shit, I think we got one. Oh, shit.
It's like Jaws all of a sudden.
Bro, fishing is so exciting.
Yeah, my grandma used to take us fishing, dude, and she was like a malignant fisherman or whatever, and she would
Degenerate?
Yeah,
What do you
like
mean by
very.
malignant?
She was like a staunch fisherman, like
Staunch.
like we're fishing,
Oh, aggressive.
You better not fucking not fish, She would
Really?
like kind of have that kind of behavior. Yeah, she was
Wow.
very. You better fucking fish, white boy.
Whoa.
She would kind of be like
Aggressive.
that. Yes, very aggressive, right?
About fishing for little kids.
Yeah, and we'd
Very
have to
strange.
be quiet and look straight out and wait for the bobber. But she was really, she loved to fish.
Did she love to eat fish?
Yep, she liked to skin them and grill them and everything.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was
What kind
cool.
of fish?
Mostly catfish, bullheads. We used to fish up in like Spoon River, up in like Illinois.
Do you guys use like chicken liver for?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We would get out there. We'd have a little thermos full of chicken liver.
Yeah, chicken liver works, man.
My grandfather would say anything, and she'd fucking look at him, and he wouldn't talk for a month after that.
She was the fisherman.
She was.
The fisher woman.
Yeah, she was. She loved to fish. I think she liked catching her own meals. Even she didn't like to hunt, but she liked to fish.
What's that fucking dude's name? The chubby dude that
Yeah,
dressed up
exactly.
like the devil and everybody got mad. He's a singer. Sam. What's that?
That's
Sam
why I
Smith.
still didn't
Yeah.
pick the Ravens
He's-
to win.
He said he wanted to be a fisher them.
Oh god.
Not a fisherman, a fisher her, a fisher she. A fisher them.
Yeah, that's wild.
The they them thing is that's the best evidence you need that people are out of their fucking minds. You can't be plural, you fucking idiot.
Well,
Stop.
the only thing I think it's almost.
This episode of the Joe Rogan Experience is brought to you by Call
Two
of
for the
Duty.
money?
You know, when a new Call of Duty drops, everyone's trying
Yeah,
to
two for the
find
money.
a way to
That shit was
squeeze
funny,
in those
dude.
extra hours of gameplay. I get it. Life is busy, but sometimes you just.
I used to have that movie for that shit
Hey,
was
Joe,
fun.
it's
That
the
was a good.
replacer. Yeah, no, you. Hey, I'm gonna take it from here so you can enjoy some Call of Duty Black Ops 6. Great. Now
I like when he
listen
gets mad
up,
at the
folks.
Indian guy.
Life
He gets
can
mad at the
be
Indian guy.
chaotic, but
You were
shouldn't have
broke
to
when you
miss
came
out
to
on
me.
the
What are you
latest
What are you
Call of
driving
Duty
now?
just because you've got,
Cherry
I
red
don't know,
Ferrari, right?
responsibilities. That's where
So
I
pick
come
up your
in.
balls.
I will handle the boring stuff like work, chores, and even broadcast ad
Take-
so you can
take the
dive
Giants
right
or whatever the
into
fuck
the
he said.
fight. Call of Duty Black Ops 6 is out October 25th, so dive in because I've got your back. Remember, I replace you play. It's that simple.
Man, the replacer always gets it done. Seriously though, if you're hooked on Call of
That's
Duty,
that's probably
this
a
is your
Chiefs
time
game
to jump
too.
in.
I don't.
Head over to
I would take the plus.
callofduty.com
I would place the plus
/Black
Broncos.
Ops 6 to get in the game.
Plus Broncos
Call of
on
Duty
that one.
Black Ops 6, available now.
Rated M for mature.
This episode is brought to you by BetterHelp. This month isn't just about eating all the turkey, mashed potatoes, and pumpkin pie you want. It's also about giving thanks for what you have and the people in your life. There's plenty to be thankful about this year, too. I'm thankful for my family, my dog, and all you listening to the shows. I wouldn't be the same without you guys, but more importantly, because this person probably gets overlooked every year. We should be thanking ourselves. Seriously, it seems like a simple thing, but it can be tough to remind yourself that you deserve a little recognition. If that's something you have trouble with, therapy is a great way to get some self-care. It teaches you the tools and the skills you need to treat yourself better. It's also a good way to work through frustration and an outlet for stress. You'd be surprised at how much talking can help. So give therapy a try and check out BetterHelp. They make it easy to connect with a therapist, and everything is entirely online. Once you fill out their short questionnaire, you'll be able to connect with a licensed therapist at a time and in a way that works best for you. Let the gratitude flow with BetterHelp. Visit BetterHelp.com/JRE today to get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/JRE. Listen, I've talked about AG1 a ton over the years, and it's because I really do like it. It's a great way to start the day and keep my health in focus. And right now, AG1 is running a special Black Friday
challenging you?
offer for all of November. So it's a great time to try it. AG1 sources ingredients in bioavailable forms, making it easy for your body to use each nutrient. And their formula uses non-GMO ingredients and contains no added sugar. If you're feeling tired or bogged down, this is a great way to break out of that funk with a healthy, simple ritual. So here's the deal. Every week in November, AG1 will be running a special Black Friday offer for a free gift with your first subscription, in addition to the welcome kit with vitamin D3 plus K2. So make sure to check out drinkag1.com/Rogan to see what gift you can get if you subscribe this week. That's drinkag1.com/Rogan to start your holiday season off on a healthier note while supplies last.
If you're being plural, you're I don't understand it. Like, if you're being plural, are you being like there's more of me, kind of? Like, that's what I don't understand. Is it like an ego trip? Like, that's, you know, like that's what I don't understand about the.
It's just a way to be unique, and it's a way to be in a marginalized community if you're just a regular person.
Yeah.
So, like, if you're a regular white person, you're at the lower end of the social hierarchy amongst woke people. But if you're queer or non-binary, now you're in a protected group.
My
Now you're
buddy's
in.
queer, actually.
Nice. What does he have to do to be queer?
Nothing. He's cool. He's just, he doesn't. Yeah, he didn't like send you an email update or whatever. He's just.
Did he update his Twitter pronouns?
No, he's just like a.
Just decides he's queer.
Yeah, he's like a secret. Not secret. He's like. I don't know. He's just like a. Or I don't even know what they call it. I got to look at the chart or whatever.
What is queer these days? Because when I was a kid, queer was gay. If someone was queer, they're gay. Or if you got punched in the head, then you're on Queer Street. It was like everything was confusing. Queer was confusing.
Okay.
And then queer became gay somewhere along the line. But now I think queer is whatever you want it to be.
Yeah.
You could be gay, bi, straight, and then you could be pansexual.
And what is that?
Exactly. That's what Wayne Brady is.
He's pansexual?
He came out.
Damn.
Came out as pansexual. I don't know what that means.
I can barely handle whatever I am, dude. To be real honest, bro.
It's also new.
Whatever I am, bro, it keeps jerking off at night and being afraid to talk to women. So, whatever that one is, that's what I am, bro.
You're theosexual.
Oh, it's fucking getting kind of heady, man.
You're theosexual. Why are you afraid to talk to the women?
No, I don't know. You know, I think I get afraid to, like, I always got afraid to approach women. You know?
Really?
Yeah.
But why? You're a handsome fella. You're funny. You're successful.
I don't know. I think something I just
childhood shit.
Yeah, probably. There's something like, you know, like I would just be so fucking nervous, buddy. You know, when I was a kid, I would be so nervous. I would be so nervous.
Which is interesting that you got into stand-up comedy, which makes people really fucking nervous.
Well, I think I was familiar with being nervous, so that didn't affect me.
Oh, interesting. Because you're nervous all the time. You're like, fuck it, I'll just go be nervous in front of all these people.
Oh, the audience is when you're on stage, the audience is just a woman.
Oh, like you're just trying to get them to like you.
You're just trying to you're like, how do we get this to work out, you know?
How do I get you to like me more? Who do I have to be?
The other night was crazy. Sorry, I cut you off.
No, go ahead.
I got nothing.
The other night was crazy.
This week's been crazy. It's just been a crazy week.
Yeah.
You know? It's been a crazy week, man.
It was interesting because the beginning of the night, no one knew what was going to happen. So you're watching the first results roll in, and there's like this weird thing. And then Trump gets way ahead, but you're like, you don't want to like get too hopeful. Like, how far ahead is he? He's ahead by 100 points. That seems like a lot.
Yeah, and you're like, what is it? And some channels are like, and then every channel's kind of different.
Yeah, they had different numbers. I was getting a different number off my Apple News update than I was getting off of CNN, and then I was texting people. Like Tulsi and JD Vance, I was getting a different apparently, Elon created an app, and he knew who won 4 hours before the results. So as the results were coming in, 4 hours before they called it, Dana White told me Elon was like, "I'm leaving. It's over. Donald won." He just fucking somehow or another.
I'm gonna go back into my pod and evaporate.
I don't know what he's getting, where he's pulling his data from, but he had like the most accurate data in terms of the rural states hadn't put their results in yet, but yet Trump was ahead in these states. Kamala's never going to win those states, so tabulated that and like put it all together. I don't know how he did it. But Dana, I haven't even talked to Elon about this. I don't know like the Dana translation, but Dana said he had an app, and he was like showing him. He's like, it's over. And he fucking left. Dude just left.
It's over. John Jones won. Just saying that.
He just fucking left.
Dude, yeah, I mean, the whole thing's crazy to me. I'm so happy for, my biggest thing was I was so happy for Bobby Kennedy, man.
Yeah.
Because he's the only person that I super know, like, as a human, you know? He's been a buddy of mine for years, and I've just known that he's like, I trust him. Like, it's almost like you have people that you know and that are good people. It's like, I have to trust my own instincts at some point and know I know him. Right. You know, he's somebody I would vouch for. Right. You know, he's a good guy, and he's been helpful to me, like in moments where I have struggled as a person, and just been inspirational to me. You know, it's like I know him. You know, like a friend, and so that's, I think, like, that was something I was like super excited about, just to see where everybody was like, screw this guy, you know, and to see him have a arc where it's like, because all he ever cared about, to me, and I don't know, this is just my opinions, dude. Some people, everybody has their own opinions, and I'm an idiot, but he always cared about like the rivers and the environment, you know, and then he started to care about the environment inside of our bodies, right? So for me, that all makes sense, right? And so, like,
well, you know where it all happened.
I was super, like, I was super excited about.
Do you know how he made the transition to being worried about pharmaceutical drugs? He would give these speeches,
true, man.
and
That's true.
he litigated a bunch of lawsuits against corporations that were polluting rivers. They cleaned up the East River. Like, he was an environmental attorney, and they were also talking about the effects of mercury poisoning in the soil and water. And these women kept coming to these things that he was doing and saying, you need to investigate mercury in vaccines. And, you know, he thought, like, that is, like, which most people think. You hear vaccine, like, the last thing I want to be labeled is a vaccine skeptic. Jesus Christ. A vaccine denier. That's like, I mean, we talked about this yesterday, but it's like Holocaust denier is number one, but vaccine denier and election denier are, like, right under there.
Yeah.
And he started looking into it, particularly the MMR vaccines and the correlation between the uptick of all these autoimmune issues, autism spectrum disorders, all these different things that coincided directly with the increase in the vaccine schedule for kids. And so then he starts doing research on it. And the more he does research on it, the more it gets uncovered that there's this gigantic machine that's protecting all of this because there's so much money that's being generated. And most of it has to do with during the Reagan administration, they gave them immunity to prosecution. So they were no longer liable for whatever side effects the vaccines caused.
That's pretty wild.
Yeah, and then of course these motherfuckers started giving little kids, little babies that were just born, Hep B vaccines. Like, what are you doing? Like, that's you get that from needles and sex.
Yeah,
this is
unless
a
it's
fucking
Pam
baby.
Anderson's baby, dude. I wouldn't put anything in that kid, you know. And no, if I don't even know if she has any kids or not. And I love Tommy Lee, so I don't know. Who
Well,
I
you fucked
said
up.
That. I already done, dude.
It's a joke. What are you gonna do? It's a fucking joke.
Yeah, sorry, everything's okay.
I feel the same way about Bobby. I don't know him as well as I know Tulsi, though. Tulsi is.
Yeah, I don't know her.
Tulsi's a good friend of mine. I love her. She's great. She's an awesome person. She's like a legitimate awesome person. You know, that lady, she served as a congresswoman for 8 years, and the whole time she was against this divide of right versus left. She was always trying to be cool with everybody. She served overseas. She was deployed overseas in a medical unit, man. So she was helping people that got blown up by the war twice. That's where she got that crazy white streak in her hair.
Really?
That all came from the stress of being overseas, working in a medical unit.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess, can stress be that compartmentalized inside of you and it comes out like that?
Oh, your body's.
I'm on fever right now.
You can't imagine. You know, I was just talking to my friend Bruce about this last night.
Playing
He was a
Ultimate
cop
Team.
in Austin. We were talking about the amount of death that most police officers see,
like
and
it.
the stress that has on
It's
you.
fun.
And what he was telling me is, you take like a cop that has like 20 years in the job. What they see is probably
Good for you.
10x what the average soldier who's deployed sees. Because you're seeing murder all the
You want a
time.
medal
You're
or
seeing
something
car
for that?
accidents all
For
the
that-
time.
the
Suicide
sacrifice
all
you're
the time,
making? Or is
domestic
like-
violence
It's
all the
like-
time. You're pulling people over. You never know if you're going to get shot. Because most of these guys are fucked up because they're just
Like,
constantly seeing this stuff.
I hate it, but I'm
constantly.
playing 'cause of y'all.
Yeah, I'd be at home out here. Somebody open a jar of Pringles and I'd fucking
Just
pull
let you
on 'em,
know.
you know? Yeah, you.
Top
Yeah, yeah. What's going on, dude? We had a police officer on a few years ago, or about a year ago. Can you look this up, Jamie? Is it okay to ask Jamie to look something up?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. It's a police officer.
How long ago?
Yes. This guy, retired police officer, Sergeant Brad White. This guy was super unique. He lived in Los Angeles, but he told this story. He was he didn't have any political thoughts. He just told stories of what it was like being a police officer, and he told the story of his first day on the job. They're chasing a guy. The guy runs into traffic, gets hit by a vehicle, and killed. Right. So even as just a human being, like you're just doing a job, but then you're like trying to compartmentalize or how do what effect did I have on this? What are my like?
Right.
He told this story of a mother had called and said that her son was thinking about committing suicide. Right. The mother meets him in the yard. He shows up. He's a police officer. It's in outside of Los Angeles, I think in Whittier Police Department. I could be wrong. He shows up. The mom meets him outside. They see the son comes into the doorway, right? It's like a glass door with another door behind it, kind of. Takes his own life, right?
Right in
Kills
front of
himself
everybody.
right in front of them. So now he's standing there with the mom.
Oh my God.
Now he has to go. He has to console the mother, then go inside of the home. He walks inside. The door won't open because the man's body is there, right? He's having trouble getting it open. Even just that moment. He gets it open. Something falls off of the ceiling down the back of his shirt. And it's part of the guy, his brain matter. He had shot himself on the ceiling. So I know that's graphic and stuff. And then for the next 3 or 4 hours, he has to take care of this scene with this little feeling between his bat wings or whatever what is that?
Bulletproof vest.
No, inside of your body.
Shoulder blades. Oh, yeah,
shoulder
shoulder
blades.
blades.
Yeah.
And it's brain matter.
Yeah. And it's just like, that's just a regular guy. You know, he might not even have finished college or something. You know, it's like, so just the baffling amount of stuff that police go through. Anyway, I was trying to just like, those are stories that stuck with me when I spoke with that guy. It was like unbelievable.
It's just conveniently ignored by most people who never read police officers. And then that was one of the more offensive things about the George Floyd thing, all this defund the police shit, where people rose up and were saying defund the police, and I mean defund the police. And Kamala Harris was one of them. She was out there tweeting defund the police. And because of that, crime just ramped up in certain communities, and so many people wanted the police back, but then it's, you know, it's a long process to try to, and to this day, most of these cops don't have good morale. They still have this feeling of defund the police was just a couple of years ago.
Yeah.
It's hard to get people to be cops now. They don't want that fucking job.
Bow,
Why
bow,
would they?
bow, bow.
It's a fucking hard job.
Yeah, and they don't even. I think the highlight, like they used to play like softball in our area against like the fire department. That was like the highlight of it. You know, it was like having like competition. You know, but I don't even like if you defund them, they're not even super funded. You don't ever see a cop with like a boat. Or you know what I'm saying? Like you don't
a baller cop.
Yeah, you don't see a fucking
right. If you think about how hard that job is, like hard jobs should pay more.
Show out.
Right?
Yeah, dude.
You know, like what is the? I think if you paid them too much, though, then they just quit. Like I got enough. I'm out.
Yeah, I don't know if you tell.
Because like, what's harder, being a rapper or being a cop? It's fucking way harder being a cop.
I'm sure not.
Oh
getting paid
yeah,
today,
I
for
think
sure.
But rappers get paid way more.
It's true. Cops just, I think a lot of cops will start making albums from their cars. You know? But there really should be there should be a great producer that goes on a ride along with a police officer. This is going to happen, watch. And makes a dope track with a cop.
Right.
And you could make a dope and you'd have so much great visuals.
Right.
And the proceeds go towards supporting the police.
Yeah, like the cop could like be saying shit from behind the wheel, and you can sample that.
Yeah.
Sample that and turn them into songs.
We got them.
It's not as funny as Show Out.
In pursuit.
Different codes.
It's
different
funny,
codes.
but it's
5150. Isn't that when someone's crazy?
Oh yeah, that's crazy right there. That's 50. I think 44.
Look at, is this cop rap? What is this? Grammy-nominated rapper, Sacramento police officer records new deployment recruitment video.
Pull him up, man.
No.
Oh, and Full Metal Jacket.
There could have already been one.
What's that? 5150.
What do you have to do to be a Grammy-nominated? Grammy-nominated doesn't impress me. Like Grammy-winning, that impressed me. Grammy-nominated.
Dude, my Grammy
Who
will
nominated you?
Yeah. My Grammy will nominate anybody. She liked Traveling Wilburys.
You didn't.
I mean, I didn't. I mean, if my grandfather showed up and said, hey, they're good, I respect that a little bit more, but that's just me, you know. Lainey Wilson, I love. She's great. Red Clay Strays, Stephen Wilson
great.
Jr.
Red Clay Strays are great.
They're good, huh?
Yeah. There's good music out now. It's a good time for music because, like, you could find things so easily. You know, you don't have to wait for the radio. You just find stuff. People send you stuff. Like, in the green room all the time. Someone will play something. I go, what is this? And they'll Shazam it. Like, oh, shit. It's nice. Man. That Shazam thing, that feature is so huge.
Yeah.
You know, on Google Pixel phones, there's an option to just have it on all the time. So anytime a song is playing, you can look down at your phone and it'll tell you what song's playing.
I didn't know it.
Do they still do that? I think that's still a feature. I think it's only on the Google Pixel.
What was I thinking? I feel all over the place today. You ever feel like that?
Oh, yeah.
Like
Well, I
you
haven't
open
been
your life.
sleeping. I haven't been
Yeah, I didn't
sleeping.
sleep well.
2 days in a row, I didn't sleep. The night of the election, I could not sleep. I got home, I was wired.
Did you jerk off or not that
No,
night?
no, I just sat in front of the TV. I was watching professional pool, sitting in front of the TV. I called Dave Smith. Me and Dave Smith talked on the phone at like 3:30 in the morning. And then I finally went to bed, and my wife woke up. She's like, what happened? Who won? And I was like, Trump won in a landslide.
You're like the Spurs.
And then she was up. I'm like, it was a landslide. Like, it was a crazy landslide. It was the red wave that everybody thought was going to happen in 2022. Hey, Jamie, I'm hearing more and more about what we talked about yesterday, about the amount of people that voted for Biden in 2020 versus the amount of people that voted for anybody in 2016 and for anybody in 2024. That they're still saying it was a giant jump.
That's what I see too.
A lot of people think it's bullshit.
Could be.
There's a lot of people that are getting super suspicious about the 2020 numbers because Biden got more votes than anybody by like 20 million. It's really crazy if you look at the chart.
Well, did they say that the most people they'd ever seen at voting stations were this year?
Yeah.
That's what I don't know what the visual report is for this year, but then
This is the most consequential election I think I've ever felt.
For sure.
For sure. The way people felt about it too, the people on the left thought they were convinced that Hitler was coming. They're convinced that some right-wing authoritarian's going to come down and take away all your rights and.
Well, that's the media does that.
100%.
But
100%. Not what he was saying, not what he did for 4 years in office. It's all the media, and we're all victim of it a little bit, because you won't defend him or support him if you hear all these things about him, because then you got to defend the fact that no, he didn't really do that. He's not really a felon. There were only misdemeanors. Texas voter turnout falls in 2024 election despite record registration numbers. This is just Texas, right? 61% cast ballots, near 6% drop from the 2020 presidential race. But the difference in the numbers nationwide is what I'm interested in, because the nationwide numbers they're pretty consistent, like through the entire, like if you look at 2012, it's consistent with 2016, which is also consistent with 2024. The anomaly is 2020.
Yeah.
In 2020, everything goes way up. Way up.
Maybe because people were sitting at home and so bored and they said they didn't have much to do, you think?
Could be. Could be. Because it was during COVID. Could be a lot of people weren't working, so they did have the opportunity to vote. Voting should be a national holiday.
I agree. I don't understand.
It's crazy that you give some people a complication. Like, imagine if you have a shithead boss. Like, I got to vote. Why didn't you vote early? Because I was working for you, you piece of shit.
Yeah.
Let me go. Let me go vote.
Yeah, I mean, they give Christopher Columbus as a
fuck
holiday,
that
dude.
guy.
The Lieutenant Dan of the 1400s. That dude gets a fucking holiday, okay?
Yeah, why don't you go
But
read
you don't
what
get a
that
day
guy
off?
did. Let's get rid of Christopher Columbus. They changed it to Indigenous Peoples Day. Like, and the Indigenous people are like, thanks, after you wiped out 90% of us.
Yeah.
Thanks for giving us a day. How about we keep that day? That's fine. But how about we have an election, national election holiday? We could do it
Yeah.
one more holiday.
Celebrate it. It's a great day. People can
Yes.
rejoice. And then I think,
Cookouts.
yep, it would take a lot of stress off people, too. It's like today's also
Yeah.
a day of celebration. It's not this day that I have to sneak away from work and be sneaky or whatever.
You should have
and
a paid,
eat in my car.
It should be a paid holiday.
Yeah.
You should expect to have to pay your employees on the day that election comes, because everybody should be able to go vote.
Yeah.
That's what it should be. We should make sure. We'll talk to Trump about it. Make it a nationally mandated holiday.
I don't have his number. I don't know. Again, I mean, I there's a guy in his department that have his number.
We could hook it up. I know some people.
Yeah, dude, it was just what a crazy week.
Yeah, very crazy. Well, you were one of the first guys to have him on the podcast. Did you have any hesitancy having him on at all?
My brother's a lot smarter than me, and he said, "Hey, man, I just want you to think that there could be some reflection from people if you have him on, right? Like some people could be upset about it,
Right?
You
Yeah,
know,
or like LeBron
and
made
I thought about that a little
more
bit, and
than
I was
all
like,
of them
well, I don't
combined in,
really,
one year.
like, I don't know, you know, like. I have political thoughts and beliefs and stuff like that, and it's like it's hard to find a group that really embodies them. And if anything, right now for me, it seems like I don't even feel like these new parties are the same as the old parties.
Yeah, I mean, they just have to have a league.
It doesn't seem like this isn't Democrats and
Well,
Republicans. There's
equality.
something else transmorphing right now.
Yeah.
And so, I thought like.
The NBA is finally back. Play Pick 6 from DraftKings, an official partner of the NBA. It's super simple to get started. First, download the DraftKings
Right.
Pick 6 app. Then select 2 or more players and choose
Yeah.
if they'll have more or less of a stat, like points, rebounds, three-pointers, and more. And for all first-time Pick 6 players, check this out. New customers, play $5 and get $50 in Pick 6 credits. Download the DraftKings Pick 6 app now and use code ROGAN. That's code ROGAN for new customers to play $5 and get $50 in Pick 6
Bikinis.
credits. Only on DraftKings Pick 6. The crowd crown is yours. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Must be 18 and over. Age and eligibility restrictions vary by jurisdiction. Void where prohibited. One per new customer. Bonus awarded as non-withdrawable Pick6 credits that expire in 30 days. Limited time offer. See terms at pick6.draftkings.com/promos.
This episode is brought to you by Paleo Valley. Paleo
Like the
Valley meat
Olympics
sticks are the
one or
perfect
what? How'd
protein
they set
snack
it
made
up?
with 100% grass-fed beef, pasture-raised
Well,
chicken,
they have the
pork,
3v
and
they got the
venison,
3v3
and
in the
coming in
Olympics.
9 delicious flavors. Paleo Valleys are also naturally fermented with 0 preservatives and have a shelf life of 1 year. Even longer if refrigerated. Plus, they're sourced from small, regenerative American family farms with over 35 million sold and a 60-day, 100% money-back guarantee. Paleo Valley stands by their quality. Visit paleovalley.com/Rogan and use the promo code Rogan to get 20% off your first order.
I thought, well, I think I just want to be able to have a chance to talk to this guy, you know? And the main thing for me was like you talked about Dana White earlier. He's really, you know, I know that you guys work together, and he, you know, I knew that Trump's brother suffered from addiction, right? I knew that, right? I heard that or something, and I looked into it. It's like, okay, he lost his brother. His brother died of addiction. So I was like, well, that's interesting to me. You know, and I wish that people, I wonder if there's more to Donald Trump. Like, is there more of a way to talk with him about something that means, you know, try to get an emotional well, like more of an emotional well to him than it seems like that's in the public.
Well, there was a thing that was going on for a while where you were platforming people. This was the idea. Like, if you had on a guy like Trump, you were platforming this bad person. This was this thing.
Yeah, I didn't think about that at all.
But it's an authoritarian way to regulate conversations that let you know more about people, and it's stupid because people don't want to have a nuanced perspective on anybody. Look, this is one of the reasons why I wanted to talk to Kamala Harris. I'm like, I bet there's a person in there. I bet I can get to that person.
Yeah.
I wanted to find that person. I don't want to hear all the speeches. I don't want to hear. I was raised middle class. I don't want to hear any of that shit.
She's a roller skater. You know that?
No, I would love to find that out.
Yeah.
I would love to talk to her about all kinds of shit. I literally said, like, because there was a few restrictions of things they didn't want to talk about, but I said, I don't give a fuck. I go, get her in here. Like, whatever you want to talk about. And they want to know if I edit. I'm like, there's not going to be any editing. There's no editing.
Yeah.
We're not going to edit. But
yeah, that's the same thing they asked us. Is there an edit, you know?
I just wanted to talk. I feel like you give someone a couple of hours and you start talking about anything, I'm going to see the pattern of the way you think. I'm going to see the way you process ideas. I'm going to see whether or not you're calculated or whether you're just free.
Yeah.
Or are you comfortable with you, or are you projecting things? Like, she's got 80 different accents. How do you decide which one to pull out?
Yeah.
Like, she's got, she busts out different accents depending on who she's talking to.
Yeah.
They should have made her talk to
though.
a bunch of Chinese folks. I would have loved to hear that accent. I want to see what
I do that too, though. I like to meet people where they're at.
Sure.
You know? Oh, if I see somebody that's, you know, I'll be like, what's happening, my friend? You know? It's like, I like to meet people where they are, you know?
Yeah, she did one with Latinos where she talked with a Latino accent. I'm like, this is wild. But she's a chameleon. But if you want to be a successful politician, that's probably a good trait.
I agree.
You know? It's like a comedian that's always on.
So
They
no
kind of get
remembering
annoying.
name.
But if you want to be a comedian, that's probably a good trait. You want to be a politician, you should probably be able to melt into your environment and sort of meld yourself with whatever these people want you to be.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
But maybe not. Maybe it's just like I always feel like the environment of debates, the environment of interviews on television, the environment of anything you're doing in front of an audience, it's so fake. It's such a weird way to talk that you don't get a sense of who the person
Raggedy
is.
Ann.
So, like, when I got to see Trump on your podcast and you were talking about doing cocaine, then it makes you like,
why are you watching a fucking White House press conference right now?
It was hilarious. It was hilarious, but it was like you got a chance to see that guy as a
Why?
person trying to figure out, like, who is this psycho I'm sitting here talking to?
I remember that shit. I'll fucking make a nest in my living room, dude. That shit, boy. I'll scoot over to the neighbors and steal some twine in my beak, homie. There's nothing worse than being locked out of your place on cocaine, man.
I can only imagine. But you talking to him like as a person is like almost more valuable than any other kind of speeches he does. Because when he's in front of everybody talking about we're gonna make America amazing, those are great speeches. But you don't like. She had an amazing speech. When I was like she could win was when she had that one speech about Donald Trump, like scared to debate her, but he says all these things. But you know what I always heard? If you want to say something, say it to my face. And the whole place went crazy, and she was laughing.
I didn't see that.
Oh, it was so good. It was her best speech for sure. And it was right when they decided that she was going to run for president.
Maybe that is what got people involved.
Biden stepped down, and she had one banger of a speech. She looked young and energetic, and like it really made you feel like this is going to be a change. She was hot. She was younger. She was younger. She was a smoke show.
She's still all right. She got that thing on her, I bet.
So that.
You playing the Black Ops?
You know what I'm saying?
I do know what you were saying. That's why it's so crazy.
Because a lot of brothers love her too.
Everybody seems to love her.
Look, if the brothers like it, she got that thing on her. That's all I'm saying. You know?
I understand what you're saying. But like that one speech was almost enough for her to win. And if she just didn't talk other than speeches, but they would have done. They needed to do a better job with the speeches because every speech was the same. And the problem with that is we were talking about this, like the internet. You get to see that speech over and over again online, like, and then people make compilations of the speech. And it looks,
and then the same thing.
But it's like if someone goes to see her act. You know, they don't understand, like, acts, like, to develop a bit, it takes months and months and months to really, like, put it together where it's, like, rock solid.
Yeah.
And you're going to do it the same way or slightly different every night. And if someone comes to see you and goes, Theo's so full of shit, man. He told us the other day that it was just the other day. But meanwhile, he said it 3 weeks later. It wasn't just the other day. It was 3 fucking weeks ago, dude. You're repeating the same shit. So that's
you got too many leap years, white boy. Yeah, shit like that.
Exactly. So that's what they feel about like a presidential candidate that's telling the same speech over and over. Well, hey, you're not supposed to go see all those speeches.
But yeah.
You know? Yeah. But the thing is about
you're
Trump,
not following the Grateful Dead here. You know,
Trump
it's like,
rambles.
but Trump has a lot though. Trump has a lot that are repetitive.
He does, but not in the same order. It's like going to see a Grateful Dead show. It's like it's all over the place. You know, when Trump gets out there, he just does Dougie. Did you see? He had this long-winded speech about the rocket.
That was insane,
Elon caught
dude.
the rocket.
I'm like, you just won the presidency.
Edit that down. You can edit that down. That could be 2 minutes.
Beautiful arms.
I was worried about that in the very beginning of the podcast before we got cooking. When he was talking about Lincoln's bedroom, I was like, oh boy, like where is this going? Like,
I've been in Lincoln's bedroom.
How was it?
It was okay. I think you can bring it up, actually. It's in Springfield, Illinois.
Oh, it is? No, he was talking about the one that's in the White House.
Oh, no, I've been to just his before he got elected.
You can go to his childhood home. Oh, wow.
It's really interesting. He used to keep his notes in his hat.
Oh, that was a good move.
Pretty cool.
Big ass hats back there.
That head wallet, baby. He had
That's
that bitch on
a good move. That's a good move. It's like
Especially
credit cards behind your phone, that kind of thing. Except if you lose your phone, you lose everything.
But you ain't losing that big ass hat. That hat was fucking long, dude.
Isn't it crazy, man? You ever see like how many dudes wore like fancy hats back in the day? That shit just went away.
It did.
Imagine if you were a kid and you're growing up in a hat family. You're like, well, our family makes hats, bro. I'm balling forever.
Yeah.
I'm going to take over this business. And then no hats. If you watch, there's a great outside boxing match in Reno, Nevada between Jack Johnson and I think it's Jim Jeffries. And I think this is...
Jim Jeffries?
Yes. Not that guy. Another one.
It's not the...
Not the comedian.
No, I'm talking about the murderer.
No. Maybe. I don't think so. I think it's just a boxer.
Who was it?
James Jeffries. So see if Jack Johnson versus... This is it.
Who killed the people with that Kool-Aid or whatever?
When there's a video of all these folks that are
walking
like to the event, and every man has a fucking hat on, dude.
Wow.
They all have hats. Look, they all have fancy hats. Look at all these guys. They're taking off their hats, waving their hats. Men left the house with a fucking hat on. Look at this.
Wow.
Dude, they all have these fancy hats.
What happened?
They're all dressed up nice with fancy hats. First of all, good luck seeing anything outside the Republican National Convention of that many people on the streets dressed up in suits.
That's
Like,
true.
that's it. It's the only time you're ever gonna see this. These are like regular men walking on the streets. Everybody had fancy hats on and a nice button-up shirt and a suit jacket. That's Jim Jeffries right there.
Oh, those guys
That's-
are good, dude. James
that's
J.
John,
Braddock.
that's John L. Sullivan.
No way.
Yeah.
The guy from that's the guy from Monopoly
He was
too,
a,
right there.
He was a bare knuckle boxer back in the Dizzy. So and he was still famous back then.
Wow, look at him putting it all together. That's so
Yeah.
cool.
Isn't that cool? So they built this outdoor stadium to watch Jack Johnson beat the fuck out of Jim Jeffries.
Oh.
That's how it goes. Jim Jeffries was trying to make a comeback. He was a little bit older. Back then, bro, boxing would go until someone died.
Yeah.
They would have, I mean, what's the most rounds they had back then? They were crazy. It was like 80 rounds or something. Like, what's the longest old school boxing match ever, Jamie? I think they had some insane amount of rounds.
That's a good question.
Look at this. The greatest number of rounds was 276 in a 4-hour and 30-minute fight when Jack Jones beat Patsy Tunney in Cheshire in 1825. Holy fuck, dude. And were introduced in 1867. Each round of a fight would last until someone was knocked down.
Oh my god.
Wow. Bro, 276 rounds is so crazy.
Ugh.
That's when you get all your CTE in an IV bag. You just get, you have to.
That's
you have
the
to
Brennan Shaw
swallow
gauntlet right
vitamins.
there, dude.
You just get your
Yes, man.
CTE just hot pumped into your fucking
Yeah.
brain.
Modern
I'm just
boxing
joking,
would be
Brendan.
110, I guess.
Oh my God.
At New Orleans, that's where it was.
In he lived to 94. He lived to 1867, 94. Oh, these are when they died. Oh, because in 1893, it lasted 110 rounds. Oh
Wow.
my God. 7 hours and 19 minutes. It was declared a no contest, later changed to a draw.
Dude, most people couldn't go that long without even looking at their phone, dude. Much
Yeah,
less
7
much
hours.
less having to fend
how
off a
about
guy.
having to take a shit? You're in the
Oh.
middle of a 200-round fight. You have to take a shit.
They should have a diaper round. We have to fight and shit at the same time.
I would bet it affect your punching power if you just waddle around
Of
and shit.
course. Dude,
You
I
don't
don't think there's
shit.
a way you can shit and punch at the same time.
It would be
Can they?
very hard. Very
Look that
hard.
up.
Very hard.
Because, yeah, think about it.
Yeah. No.
It'd be so
you need
soft.
to tighten all that up if
Yeah.
you're going to throw a good punch. Like your ass cheeks tighten because you kind of use your legs as you thrust forward. You really can't shit and punch and not effectively.
Fuck
You're gonna
yeah,
lose
we
that
cracked
round.
the code, bro.
Yeah, we cracked
We
the
cracked
code.
the
You're going to
code,
lose that
dude.
round.
Yeah.
So I guess they probably just pissed themselves. I know guys who've shit themselves in the UFC.
Uh-uh.
Multiple guys, yeah.
Oh, it breaks my
I
heart.
believe Tim Sylvia shit himself in a fight once. Who else? Someone came out there. Michael Chiesa looked over at me once while I was doing commentary. And I think he got called. I mean, it was perhaps one of those situations where the fight before ended quicker, so he didn't get as much warm-up time as he wanted.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden he's running out there, and he looked at me. He goes, "Dude, I'm about to shit my pants." I go, "Really?" He goes, "Yeah, I'm about to shit my pants." And he won. He went out there and won first-round submission.
Because he had to.
Because he had to, man.
Yeah. Dude, there's not.
So is this the fight? Oh, is this another guy who shit his pants? 5 fighters
happened to 5
who pooped their shorts. Yeah, it happens, dude. This guy shit himself a little bit.
Dude, I would shit myself if I had to go in there. So
Yeah.
that's crazy.
Tim Sylvia definitely shit himself. Randleman shit himself?
Yeah.
It happens, man. Look, you're getting
Oh,
your
I'm not. Yeah.
liver pounded on. You're getting kneed in the guts.
Oh, I got in a car accident once and it happened.
You shit yourself?
I didn't want to. It just I didn't have a choice. It just happened. It wanted to.
She shit her pants too. Justine Kitch,
No.
congratulations. I bet dudes would pay a
Call
lot of
time
money
out.
for that on OnlyFans. You sell them shitty drawers.
And that's Mark Goddard right there. Call time out, brother.
just stepped
No.
in it.
Oh,
that's
is that
Keith.
what it is? That's the
Yeah.
poop? Oh, no. Imagine if you're, like, face down, if someone's putting you in a rear naked choke, and they didn't clean the mats that good, and the person before shit all over the
Come
place.
to the
You
ball.
get pink eye while you're getting your ass kicked.
God, that makes me scared.
Yeah, that's a scary job. That's the scariest job. You think,
Yeah, I went to that fight with you. Or no, I went to that fight. Remember me and Joey Diaz went
which one?
in New York. Oh, it was. Oh, I was thinking of your fighters. Well, I went and saw the James J. Braddock statue before.
Oh,
It was in New
really?
Jersey. before Dustin and that last fight that he had. No, the one before the last fight.
Justin Gaethje. That was in.
No, after that. It was in New Jersey.
Okay.
The
That
Pride
was
of
yeah. Benoit Saint-Denis. Yeah.
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 No.
Yeah.
Was it?
Yeah, he beat up Benoit Saint-Denis and knocked him out.
Islam Makhachev.
That was after.
He
that.
lost to Islam.
That was in
but-
Jersey.
Oh,
right.
which one was in Jersey? Islam.
He didn't beat Islam in Jersey.
Right. So he fought Benoit Saint-Denis, then he gets a title shot against Islam.
Yeah, I went with Joey. And I went to the James J. Braddock statue before. It was awesome, dude.
Islam's a monster. He's so good.
Yeah, it was crazy. And Joey was like, "What do I?" Dude, he was so. This is all love, dude. He's a fucking tremendous. He's one of a kind, and his book is great too. If you haven't read his book, but he's sitting there. He'd been eating mushrooms, you know. And once he even started eating a little, you could see Aaron Rodgers start to look over. You know, he was getting curious. You know, he's like, "What was happening?" You know.
That's hilarious.
But by the sixth quarter or whatever, I don't know how the fights go, but it's like by the sixth quarter, he's just rubbing on his thighs, right? He's fucking. He goes, "Who's winning, dog?" That's what he kept saying to me.
Oh, I can't wait to see him again.
Joey used to shovel snow for James J. Braddock.
Did he really?
Yeah.
Wow. That's crazy.
It's one of my favorite things that I ever learned about him.
That's crazy.
Can you imagine that?
That is crazy.
What else is going on?
I'm going to see him in a couple of weeks. He's coming out here. Joey is going to start staying out here for months at a time. Yeah, he wants to get a place downtown near the club.
Me too. I'm going to come back and look in about a week and a half.
Every time he comes, he's like, "I got to come out here, dog." I'm like, "Come on, we'll make it easy for you." I'm like, "We'll make it easy for you. You tell me when you want to come, you come. We'll fly you out, put you up, whatever you want. I'll get you a real estate lady. Let's get the party started." And I'm trying to bring back the Church of What's Happening Now. Because him and Lee Syatt, they were together when they were at the club together. And I'm like, "Come on, let's get the band back together. You guys together were fucking amazing."
There was nothing like that. Show kept people alive.
That show, Joey Diaz's show, was one of the most ridiculous, silly, preposterous shows. It was so ridiculous. And then he went to New Jersey, and here's the problem with Joey in New Jersey. He loves New Jersey. He loves New Jersey people. He needs comedians. And you forget that until you're not with them. And then you're like, "Oh, this ain't no fun."
Yeah, you're just talking to plumbers or whoever's got a decent attitude or whatever, you know, a decent sense of humor.
Nice. I like talking to all kinds of people,
Yeah.
obviously. But I need comedians in my life, like I need vitamins. Like I need a certain amount of sunlight to get some vitamin D.
Yeah.
I need comedians. It's too, like that night that we had in that green room watching the elections. How many jokes were cracked? How many fucking times we rag on Tony?
Oh, dude.
We talked Tony off the ledge.
We did it. Tony's just fucking.
Tony's like got statistics. 26% more Puerto Ricans voted for Trump.
Bro, he had the Puerto Rican app open on his Whoop bracelet. I'm like, they have that? What is that?
Bro, the whole thing.
He was like, how many plantains have sold tonight? He was fucking losing his mind.
They tried to label him as a speaker. They said he was a speaker. A speaker? That was at the Trump rally? He said that Puerto Rico was a pile of garbage. These are human beings.
Weird. Was that Adam Ray? Who was that?
No, that's Obama.
Oh, it is?
A speaker?
Yeah.
That was at the Trump rally?
By Google.
He was talking about Puerto Rico as a pile of garbage.
Dude, the simple fact that Obama was talking about Tony Hinchcliffe is crazy.
Bro, Obama's doing a Tony Hinchcliffe bit. There's a video of us at the
What
mothership.
is going on?
We played it yesterday, but I want to play it again, Jamie. Play the video. It's on my Instagram of Tony is on stage in the main room. By the way, Tony goes on stage. It's like Richard Pryor just showed up. Yeah. They were going nuts. He murdered. He has 35 minutes on it.
Oh, yeah.
He's on stage.
No way! At the same time?
At the same time. Yeah. We're definitely in a simulation.
My God.
So this guy was on Fox talking about Tony on one TV while Tony was on stage on the TV monitor.
That's bullied. We did it.
He was so nervous because here's what was going to happen. If he lost, you know, so the way these news organizations work, they have outlines for stories. If Kamala wins, they have outlines for stories if Trump wins. If Trump lost, they were going to blame it on Tony. They had stories where they're going to blame it on that joke, and they were going to say that joke turned the tides and made people realize the Trump organization's filled with Nazis and racists, and they were going to blame Tony, and Tony would have been fucked. Because then the Trump supporters would have thought that too.
Right, so it was like both sides would have disliked Tony.
Absolutely.
He would have had to go to Puerto Rico or Costa Rica.
Maybe. Mexico and Puerto Ricans don't really.
No, they don't even.
They don't get along that well. In fighting, there's always been a giant rivalry between Mexicans and Puerto Ricans, and a lot of
Really?
Yeah. Oh yeah, man, for sure.
I didn't know that.
Well, you know, there's no prouder group of boxers, I think, in the history of Earth than Mexican boxers. Like, they have Mexican boxers are known for a specific style. Like, if someone says you fight like a Mexican, dude, that's a huge compliment.
Yeah.
Mexicans like Julio Cesar Chavez, you know, fucking Canelo Alvarez, Oscar De La Hoya. I mean, you can go down the line. You know, Morales. Fuck, there's so many. Manuel Marquez.
Yeah.
So many, man.
Yeah, they got just so many punches in one punch.
Well, there's a culture of boxing there that goes back so far, and it's so, you know, with boxing, it's always people that are poor that want a way out, and one of the best ways out, if you're a poor young man, if you can fight, you can make millions, like Canelo, like Julio Cesar Chavez, like. So it's like the history of people rising through boxing, but there's a similar history in Puerto Rico. Puerto Rico has a great history of boxing too.
Really?
But there was always a rivalry between Mexico and Puerto Rico.
I could see that because you're both Latino cultures and you want to be the best, you know?
Oh yeah.
I'm trying to think if I've ever been to a boxing match or not.
You should go see Jake Paul versus Mike Tyson. Might be the last boxing match ever.
I don't know if I want to see it.
Do you want to see it if Mike Tyson wins?
I remember watching Mike Tyson versus Roy Jones Jr.
Yeah.
And it was like two guys like beating each other up in baby diapers or whatever. It was
baby diapers.
Yeah, bring it up. They were wearing like big diapers or whatever.
No, they were wearing cups. There's a protector that boxers wear that's different than the protector that MMA fighters wear. So the protector that boxers wear is foam that covers like the front of your hips and things too.
Oh, maybe I'm not thinking about it. Maybe I'm thinking about something else then. But it just
this
they
to
kept
me
hugging.
This is what I believe. I believe really, truly, to my core, that they made an agreement where Mike Tyson was only going to hit him to the body full blast. It looked like every time he hit him to the head, he was kind of pulling back.
That's the thing. It just didn't seem like a real fight.
Right. It seemed like a fight to the body, though. Mike was hitting him to the body really hard, and I think he hurt Roy a bunch of times really hard to the body. But, you know, both of these men are 50. Roy, in his day, I maintain to this day, was the greatest boxer I've ever seen.
Wow.
Roy Jones, in his prime, was a freak. Like, I mean a freak, where he wouldn't even throw jabs. He would throw a lead left hook. He would favor that over a jab, but it was as fast as a jab. And people couldn't understand it because you'd never been in a ring with someone that fast. If you look at Roy Jones' highlight reel of KOs, you ever watch like Roy Jones when he was in his prime? They were executions, son. It was like Mike Tyson in his prime, but a different thing. In fact, in a Nas song, Nas says the new Mike Tyson's Roy Jones.
Wow.
Roy Jones was just executing people. He was so much faster than anybody. His timing was so good.
He was a sniper.
Oh my God, he was just so skillful.
Who would you rather knock you unconscious, you think, if you had to pick a good fighter?
Oh, I don't know. Maybe Roy would just put it out quick, just pop you on the chin, and you'd be
Roy
like,
or
okay.
Conor, though?
Both of them will knock you out quick.
You think?
Yeah, but and this is his one fight with Roy Jones with Vinny Pazienza. It was the only fight in CompuBox history where the opponent didn't land a single punch. Wow. A single punch. This was like when Roy was trying to get the referee to stop the fight. Before that, Roy signaled to the referee, stop the fight. And the referee said no, and then Roy goes like this. He's like looking at Vinny, sorry, I got to do this.
I've never even seen
He just
that.
lights it up. Bro, he was so good in his prime. But like all fighters, they stay past their prime, and people really only remember them for when they lost.
Yeah.
You know, Roy in his prime was just something completely special.
He had an Allen Iverson vibe.
You went to watch him just to see how long guys would last. That's what you would watch, to see what he would do to guys.
I did a fishing rodeo with him once.
Did you really?
Yeah.
Oh, he's a big fisherman. He dropped his hands, put him behind his back, and knocked the guy out. Like lured the guy in and hit him with one straight right hand and dropped him. It was one of he would just like be
That's
toying
crazy,
with dudes.
dude. I can't even get a fucking medium jacket off of my body, and this guy's doing this shit. That's what blows my mind,
Roy
dude.
was so good. He was so good.
Oh,
and everybody
you
that went
cooked
in
that
there.
brother right there.
There's a thing that happens when a guy's gonna fight. Like you would see it with Anderson
Who is that?
Silva.
Bill
in his
Cartwright?
prime.
Who's he fighting?
I don't know. Some dude is in real trouble. They should have stopped this fight already.
God, bro.
That dude did not need to take those other 2 punches. Dude, he was so fast.
Yeah, dude. Tony was. He was
terrified.
chains.
He was terrified. Tony
And
was
bro,
terrified.
Right when I walked in, I hadn't seen him in months. I'm just fucking grilling him. I'm
Bro.
like, there he is. I'm like, who's an island now? That's what I said to him, dude. He's fucking sitting there.
Who's an island now? Did you really say that to him?
Yeah. And here's the best thing about Tony, though. He laughed. Like,
Yeah.
Tony is for the joke, right?
Oh, yeah.
Like, even if he's, like, going through it, he respects the joke. And, like,
Always.
there's many layers to that whole thing. It's like, Tony is who he is.
Yeah.
And you almost respect that to the core. It was it the best timing? Probably not, right?
No.
Was there a lot of supervision over him, what he said?
No.
Probably not.
But that just shows
that's
you how
also
disorganized that meeting was.
it's disorganized, but it's also real. So it's like there's 2 ways to look at it. It's like it's like nobody proofread it.
Let
but
me
it's-
clear something there, because we did say that they had went over his material. They didn't. They did not go over his material. They did. Someone suggested he take one joke out. So he took this one joke out, and he's like, oh, what do I put in its place? He decided to go with the Puerto Rico joke. You fucking dumbass. Don't you know?
We did it.
Yeah,
But-
he's just so silly.
But he's the guy.
But he laughs at himself.
Oh, totally. But also it's weird because it's like, do you want things to be tailored or do you not want them to be tailored? You know?
Yeah.
It's like you could have a group that goes through every single joke and says no to everything,
Right.
and then you get nothing. You know what I'm saying? Kind of, it's like how many layers of like when you drain spaghetti or whatever I'm talking about. Like how many layers of
spaghetti?
Nah, shit. I don't know. It's been a long year.
I know what you're saying. I know what you're saying. But I think when you get to a certain level of your career, you got to say no to things that are outside of comedy.
Yeah.
If you're just coming up and someone says you want to go speak in front of the president, go out there, make a mark, soldier. Give it your best. But if you're Tony Hinchcliffe and you just did the Tom Brady roast, Kill Tony's the #1 comedy podcast in the world. You know,
Unreal.
you have millions and millions of downloads every week. Don't do that. Just do comedy. You're really good. That's what I was trying to tell people. If you saw those same jokes on stage, he kills. Fucking crushes. It's just the worst environment ever for it. Lights are bright. It's in the day.
Yeah.
No one knows a comedian. He goes up cold. No one goes on after him. There's like his big ass pause after him. The whole thing was like organized terribly. Terribly.
Oh,
Just
it's-
complete disorganization. It was like there was the Trump speech, which is the big thing. Like, what do we do with all the extra time? Like, let anybody talk. Who wants to talk? This guy owns a fucking sandwich shop. Let him come up there. Yeah, look, it's my friend Giovanni. Like, they let anybody in there. They were letting people that were saying wild stuff, too.
Oh, they were letting anybody in there.
And it
dude.
didn't seem like they vetted a lot of the speeches. Some of the speeches were like, what do you... Wait,
Yeah,
wait,
they had
wait.
40 minutes of ASMR in there. They were fucking letting people do anything.
Dude, whenever you get an organization, whether it's the Republicans or the Democrats, you got to kind of like appease everybody. And you got psychos and moderate people. And they're all together under this one banner of this one. Like, have you ever been on a sports team? There's always like one dude on the team that's a fucking psychopath, right?
Oh,
and you're
yeah.
like, dude, don't cause any fights. Like, leave everybody alone. Let's go. Come on.
We had a brother, he would slash everybody's tires, but then here's the thing, we were giving him a ride home. So it was like, well, now we're all fucked. You know what I'm saying? But that's who he was. You had to respect him. He was a power forward, you know?
Yeah. Well, sometimes they're not making the best decisions.
People
You get hit
don't,
in the head
man.
a lot.
People don't, man.
Especially football players, bro. You get hit in the head a lot, you're going to make some sketchy-ass decisions.
Nick Bosa got brave and shared his political thoughts the other night. You see that?
No, I didn't.
Well, it's just crazy how like on mainstream stuff, if you share anything one way, it's okay, but you share something another way, it's not okay.
Right. Like nobody got angry at people. They made fun of people for supporting Kamala Harris. Like we made fun of Dave Bautista because it looked just so silly. Like this performative commercial where it's really important to vote for
share anything one way, it's okay.
You
Is
know, the
Menuda? Is he
wrestler.
Menuda? Oh,
The
wrestler.
wrestler, the guy from Guardians of the Galaxy.
Okay.
You know what I'm talking about, Big Jack dude. He's trying to get movies, man. He's wearing pearls to like red carpet events. I know what you're doing. You're trying to get those movies. You gotta like
For
show
what, though?
you're an artist. You're sensitive. You're on the right side. Put him in the. He wants to be a lead in a movie. Wants to be a movie star.
Then fucking turn on your camera at a house and make something.
Dude, I'm telling you, it's the right move. What he's doing is. This episode is brought to you by MeUndies. Have you guys noticed there's just something about fall that makes you feel cozy? Even when it's still hot out, you want to lounge at home and sip on some cider in your most comfortable set of clothes. And no one does comfort quite like MeUndies. They're my go-to, and not just for underwear, which is fucking awesome. I wear mine every day. But MeUndies also has a versatile loungewear collection that everybody should check out. With lounge pants to hoodies, shirts, sweats, and more, they have what you need to stay comfortable from top to bottom. They even have onesies, if that's your thing. We all know the holidays are coming up. Well, MeUndies makes a great gift. I know I'd be happy to get something from there, and trust me, there's something for literally everyone. There are so many options, styles, and colors to choose from, all made with sustainably sourced materials and MeUndies' signature super soft micro-modal fabric. And come on, who doesn't love getting comfortable clothes? Kick off lounge season with MeUndies, comfort from the outside in. Get 20% off your first order plus free shipping at MeUndies.com/Rogan and enter the code Rogan. That's MeUndies.com/Rogan with the code Rogan for 20% off plus free shipping. Is the right move. Even if he's faking it.
You mean for Hollywood, you mean?
Yeah. Wear the beads, wear pearls. That softens you up a little bit. Lose some weight, lost a bunch of weight. Talk shit about Trump. He's allowed to be like a tough guy talking shit about Trump. Did you ever see that Jimmy Kimmel sketch they did? We called Trump a whiny bitch, and you ever seen it?
Or Jimmy Kimmel called Donald Trump that?
No. Bautista.
Bautista did?
You never saw it? Find it, because it's kind of funny.
Is he the Intercontinental Champion? I haven't watched wrestling in a bit.
He was a big-time wrestler, was a giant dude, like fucking built like a superhero. And then he went and did Guardians of the Galaxy. He was a giant dude
with Chris
in that.
Pratt.
Yeah. He's a big, giant wrestler, dude.
Yes, now I know you're talking about.
Yeah, but he wants to be a movie star, so he's losing some weight. He's a good actor, too, man. He was good in that, what was that movie, The Glass Onion. Yeah. That was a great movie. He was really good in that.
Trying to think of what I've seen.
He's just
recently.
like if you're a big giant dude and you're a big muscle-bound giant dude, and you want to do like serious roles, like you kind of gotta lose some weight. You know, you kind of gotta like support Kamala Harris. You kind of gotta like wear pearls. You kind of gotta like soften your stance. You know, you gotta kind of like be performative that you're the guy that they would want to pick, because that's like part of the battle. Like here, let me get this.
Oh, that's him?
Yeah.
I thought that was Eddie Bravo, dude.
Trump is some kind of tough guy. He's not. I mean, look at him. He wears more makeup than Dolly Parton. He whines like a baby. The guy's afraid of birds. Donald Trump had his daddy pay a doctor to say his little feet hurt so he could dodge the draft. Look at that gut. Like a garbage bag full of buttermilk. He sells imaginary baseball cards pretending to be a cowboy fireman. Guy's barely strong enough to hold an umbrella.
While he's working out.
And where is this, at Jocko's gym?
I don't know.
Little pink chickadee.
That's pretty funny.
He's got jugs. Big ones. Like Dolly Parton. He cheats at golf. He creeps around beauty pageant dressing rooms.
Hello.
You know that little dance he does?
Yeah, he's a pervert, dude. Who isn't a pervert?
Huh? Okay.
Pouts. He throws tantrums.
No, get those lights
Okay.
off.
All
He
right.
acts like a 5-year-old behind the wheel of a truck. He bends over for Putin. He's cattier on social media than a middle school dean girl. The guy needs help walking downhill. Almost there, Grandma. So this November, let's stop kidding ourselves. Donald Trump is afraid.
I don't watch this kind of stuff.
Look at this. The punches.
Windmills. Merle Street. And being laughed at.
Isn't it past your jail time?
And mostly, he's terrified that real red-blooded Americans